Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. Give me one moment to get the live chat up. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I saw a comment from your boy John Mason saying that he wasn't having a good day. I hope that his day is improved. I haven't gotten a chance to fully read that comment. I saw it on my phone's notifications, but I wasn't able to read the whole thing. I try to read all of you guys' comments, so I definitely will check that out after the stream. I just didn't have a lot of time to hit it up. Um, I'm going to go over everything that I did today in a moment. Stay tuned. So far, I am having a pretty solid day. There are a few things that are a little weird. We'll get into that shortly. But other than that, today is pretty good. Pretty good. For everyone that jumps into the live chat, I got three questions for you. How's your day today? Do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on stream? And do you have any questions for your boy? I always like to hear from you guys. Know how you're doing, know what you guys want to talk about, and definitely know if you have any questions for me. Whether it's just, about my life, about the channel, it's whatever. Let's see, right now I'm getting descriptions and tags set up on the video. I'm trying to get better at doing this. Sometimes it takes like the first 5 minutes just to get the descriptions and tags up. And I think that's just way too slow. So I'm going to try and get all that done as quickly as I can. I feel like right now I'm making some okay progress. Hmm. Okay, so it's only been like a minute 40 seconds, and I think I'm almost done getting the description and tags and everything set up. Bleh. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Also, I apologize that for the D&D streams, I'm unable to really talk with you guys. The laptop is just like way, way, way out of the way because we use it to prop up the camera while I film. Normally, I would use the phone stand that Winslow made for me, but I think ever since I went to like the airport and I couldn't have it in my backpack because it's like made of metal, and I took it out, I just haven't put it back in my backpack, and I've been using my laptop as a prop to keep my phone up like since. I need to get back into using Winslow's phone stand at least on occasion. Some of the time, bare minimum. I think my laptop has a lot of stability to it, so even when my cord would normally drag Winslow's phone stand a little bit, causing the shot to tilt, that doesn't really happen with the laptop. I feel like that's part of the reason why the transition to the laptop wasn't like a jarring one. So we're about 3 minutes in, and I now have all the tags set up, and the description is fully filled out with all the links and everything that I did today. So now I can jump straight into talking about today and what I've been up to. So I'm really excited to talk with you guys. So let's get started. After Jarrod and Matt left, I started my laundry. I was starting my laundry pretty late. I think it was on like 3 a.m. I was getting like laundry going. Sadly, I had to run one of my loads through the dryer a second time because the clothes were still soaked for no particular reason. I made sure to split the load just in case, so I took that one load that didn't fully dry and I put it in like two different machines, like dividing it up because I was like, maybe I just put too many clothes in the dryer. So I divided it up between the two dryers and I turned both the dryers up to their highest setting, right? So each dryer is taking a half load of clothes and it's as high as it possibly could go. And I still ended up pulling clothes out of those dryers that were like somewhat damp. They weren't like no go damp, but they were like a little too wet. So I thought that was weird. I don't know why that was the case. Yo, Montel, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I got three questions for you, Montel. Question number one: how's your day today? Question number two: do you have any discussion topics, things that you would like to talk about today on the stream? And question number three: do you have any questions for me, something that you'd like to ask me? I had a dream last night in which I learned the secret to levitation while in a Publix. So I was like floating around in like I almost said alleys and like aisles, floating by like bags of chips and like shit like that. And I was considering wooing a 30-year-old woman, like a woman like 10 years my senior. But then I decided not to when I realized she was married. It was a really weird dream. I keep having weird dreams back to back that all seem to involve superpowers. That seems to be the only common theme is that like superpowers are in it and that the dream itself doesn't make a lot of sense. But they've been interesting. Like, I enjoy the dreams, I just don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I guess I'm thinking about superpowers bare minimum, but everything else just seems like not related to each other. I woke up, I watched some YouTube, exercised, showered, and then while I was in the shower, I thought of a cool idea for a deck building tabletop RPG that uses action and reaction cards and has a session based card leveling system that takes loose inspiration from LARPing, which is like live action roleplay, and Hunter's Nin system. I know that's a lot to say, but I'm hoping to eventually write out my thoughts and ideas on that. But I was thinking about like how would it work and how would character progression go, and I was really digging it. So hopefully, if I write all that up into a book and publish it, it'll be available for you guys to read on Amazon. But right now, it's just an idea at the most. Montel said, "I'm good. Topic, are you doing okay? And have you tried Apex yet?" So I'm glad that you're doing good. Right now, I'm just talking about my day, what I've been up to today. And I have not tried Apex yet. I think you're actually the second person to ask me. Blah. That was gross. I think I slurred my word and then there was like spit. Um, you're the second person to ask me about Apex. I honestly don't know what Apex Legends is. But now that I've been asked a couple times, I might as well look. So it looks like Apex Legends is a battle royale game. Okay. What makes Apex Legends different from other battle royale games would be my question to you. Let's see. Because that would really give me like a good idea of whether or not I'd be interested. My big things that I like are superheroes, of course, and in PUBG, I really enjoy driving cars and being able to run over people with cars. So if I were to play Apex Legends, could I run people over with cars? Is it that kind of battle royale game? Also, in Apex Legends, is it free to play like PUBG and Fortnite and other battle royale games of that nature? Um, and is it available for PS4 free to play? I guess those are my questions. So, can I play Apex Legends free to play on my PS4? Does it have vehicles where you can like run over other players like in your car? Um, and does it have like superpowers to where you have like abilities and stuff that you can activate? I've noticed that there's a Paladins style battle royale game where you have like superpowers and abilities. That seems kind of cool. I feel like I would try that before I would necessarily try Apex Legends. But if Apex Legends has superpowers, then I could be interested. And if it has like cars and stuff, I think that would be interesting. I messaged with Danica and I confirmed that she is free for Saturday because me and Danica have a date scheduled for Saturday. I spent too much time looking at my phone messaging with Danica and I ran into a tree limb. So the tree limb like hit me on the top of my head and I got like leaves in my hair. But because of the way that my hair is set up, I couldn't feel the leaves. So I was just walking around campus with like leaves and stuff in my hair. Then I ran into and talked to Catrielle. And Catrielle's a girl that I've like crushed on for like a long time, like since high school. And we caught up a little bit. But while I was talking to her, I didn't realize that I was looking like a straight goober, looking like George of the Jungle with just fucking leaves in my dreads. So I thought that was weird. I would say for the most part, like for that first half of my day, because I only have 8 points for my whole day, and I just covered like the first four. I would say that the laundry thing was kind of shitty, where my clothes were kind of damp. I wouldn't say that the dream was shitty. The dream was cool, but I thought the dream was weird because I still don't understand why I'm having these weird superpower based dreams. And then the part about me like thinking of the deck building RPG, that's cool. I totally vibe with that. But then I think the tree limb talking to Catriel thing was kind of awkward. But I guess it wasn't too awkward. For one, I didn't even know that I had like leaves in my hair, and Catriel didn't bring it up, so maybe she didn't notice. Also, Catriel seemed tired, so I think we were both not fully like in it. So maybe that works. I don't know. Let's see. Montel said it's free on all systems, Apex Legends, and there's no vehicles, but it's Titanfall without mechs. Titanfall without mechs. Wasn't Titanfall more or less just a mech game? Like, I guess, what's the appeal of it if there are no mechs in it. Because if you said it was a battle royale game with mechs, I'd be like, oh, that sounds cool. But the only thing I know about Titanfall is that it's a game that has mechs in it, and you're saying this is Titanfall without mechs. So now I just don't even know what the game is. So I don't know. Um, my left calf keeps hurting. Real quick, I'm gonna stand up. It's not hurting right now, which is good. But last night and this morning, my left calf were bothering me. It hurt yesterday until it suddenly and painfully popped while I was doing my laundry. After that, it felt better. The only reason why I say pop is just because it like was a very sudden feeling. It didn't pop like how you like crack a knuckle or anything like that. But I was doing laundry, and they have a little barrier set up in the hallway to prevent rain from like seeping into the hallway because the laundry room's on the bottom floor of the building where they just don't have good drainage. And I stepped over that barrier and I felt my leg just like I don't know how to describe it, but it was very intense pain for a very short period of time. But then after that, I didn't feel any discomfort in my calf. Then I woke up, and then when I woke up, my calf felt like bad again. It doesn't feel bad now though. I'm not sure why it was feeling bad, but I think I just had a prolonged cramp in my leg, and the cramp, when it dissipated, just hit really hard at once. I don't fully understand it, but I haven't done anything to injure my leg, so I don't think it was a thing where like, oh, I've been like hurt or anything like that. Um, but I think a cramp is the best way to describe it. It's almost like I've had a weird cramp in my left calf, and it'll go from like a mild annoyance to I've only had this happen once yesterday when I was doing laundry, to it getting really bad to it then not being a thing at all. Luckily, I didn't have it get really bad today, and I'm glad that I'm not currently cramped up now. But it's something that I noticed a lot when I was walking earlier in the day, but that was kind of shitty. But don't have it anymore, and that's good. I'm glad. I went to Dunkin' Donuts after I talked with Catriel, and also, due to the weather, it's a little colder outside. My nose was running, so I went to the Charger Union on campus. I went to the bathroom to like blow my nose, and that's when I saw that I had all the leaves and shit in my hair, and I was like, "Oh, really?" So I got the leaves and stuff out of my hair. I blew my nose. I washed my hands, and then I went and I got Dunkin' Donuts because we have a Dunkin' Donuts on campus. It was pretty good. I had a really nice Dunkin' breakfast. I brought it back to the dorm and ate it, and then I practiced playing Hit and Dragon Ball Fighter Z for about half an hour or so, just in case the guys wanted to play Dragon Ball Fighter Z today. Montel said he'll send me a link to the gameplay trailer. Okay, ballin'. I'd be glad to like see how it works. I'm not a big shooter guy, so games like that I think have to do something that's not really shooting based to like grab my attention. I do think I might try out the Paladins Battle Royale thing because of the fact that they do have like superpowers. I think that's cool. Um, oh yeah, so we got the squad together as we always do. You know, it's Friday. So we got Colin, CJ, Jarrod, Matt, Max, and Dozer. I don't know how Dozer's name didn't end up in my like list of people for squad. I'm about to fix that right now. Do 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 do. Okay, there we go. Beep boop beep boop beep boop. These are the guys that we normally get together for D&D. So we got everybody together at Emerald Ridge, where Colin's at, and we play fighting games in D&D. Mainly Smash Bros. In D&D. And it was pretty fun. There are a few things about it that are weird, and I'll go into that in a moment. Then Montel said Realm Royale is a bit fun. How would you rate Realm Royale out of 10? Because I've been interested in trying it. It looks the most interesting out of the Battle Royale games out right now because of the abilities aspect, the idea that you have powers. As you know, I just really fuck with powers, and the other games don't really give you powers. Fortnite has wacky weapons, but that's not really the same. Montel said a 7.5. That's not bad for like a free game. I might try out Realm Royale. Maybe I'll like it. Is it third person or first person? If it's third person, then I think I might like it a lot. It depends. Also, can you customize how your character looks? because I think that would be another thing that would determine how much I like it. Third person, that's good. I'm not a big first person guy. The first person Lego Worlds isn't bad. I think it's okay. And no customization. Not even like color. Like you can't even change like the color of your outfit or anything like that. Even something small like that, I think would make me like it a lot more. Because then you don't have a whole bunch of people running around that just have like the same outfit. Yo, Kels, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I got three questions for you, Kels. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any discussion topics that you like to talk about on the stream? And question number three, do you have any questions for your boy? Right now I'm talking about my day, and Montel is talking about Apex Legends. Well, no, we switched from Apex Legends to talking about Realm Royale. He gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's third person, and it doesn't seem like there's any character customization. I'm thinking about maybe downloading and installing Realm Royale to try it out because I really like superpowers. And it's the only battle royale game that I know of right now that's like available on like PS4 for free, where you have like actual superpowers and it's like a big part of the game. But I also have not played it yet, so I don't know. But yeah, um, I just got to the part of my day where we got the squad together. So it was Colin, CJ, Jarrod, Matt, Max, Dozer, and I hanging out at Colin's place playing fighting games in D&D. We mainly played Smash Ultimate, and then we went straight from that into Dungeons and Dragons. Colin got Chick-fil-A to cater, so we had like a whole bunch of like Chick-fil-A like chicken tenders and stuff like that. I didn't partake in that. I only eat once a day, so I had had Dunkin' earlier, so I didn't eat any of the Chick-fil-A. D&D was interesting. It's starting to get to the point where outside of combat, we need a turn-based structure. Because of the fact that we don't take turns outside of combat, and there's so many people playing, um, people just get left out. Where you'll have maybe one or two people who get a lot of time, like a lot of attention, and then everybody else's stuff gets skimmed over, and you just don't get a lot of representation outside of combat. It's just getting really messy. So I feel like in future D&D sessions, hopefully we'll all take turns outside of combat so that everyone can like get in. Because I feel like Dozer's character suffered the most outside of combat. I think he at most got like a minute to like talk outside of combat. And then I feel like Gerard and Avery's characters got a lot more like time to like talk and flesh out their characters more. Where we really don't know a lot about Dozer's character yet at all, because he just hasn't got a lot of chance to speak and be the center of attention during the campaign so far. Kells said his day's been pretty good so far. That's great to hear. Then he said, "Can I read some more of the fanfic that he wrote?" Kells wrote a Yu-Gi-Oh fanfiction for his fanfiction Yu-Gi-Oh series called Yu-Gi-Oh Reborn, starring me facing off against an OC of his called Kibo in a Yu-Gi-Oh duel. Kibo plays Pendulum Monsters, a part of an archetype known as like Future Monsters. Well, Future Monsters are an archetype. They're like a special summoning type of monster. It's something like that. And then the archetype he plays is like Bright Eyes, which is inspired by like Odd Eyes monsters. And yeah, I can definitely read more of the fanfic for sure. Uh, then question number three was, would you read a fanfic with the character you suggested I'd make for your Hydra archetype? I think that'd be pretty dope. And yes, I would read that. I think that'd be cool. I'm excited to see exactly how you would build a character around the Hydra archetype, as well as how you would plot out a duel, like the turn by turn structure of them summoning Hydra cards. Who would they face off against? Would they face off against Kibo? Would they face off against me? Would you ever have a duel between multiple characters where it could be like maybe me and Kibo on a team or like me and the Hydra guy on a team? Because I think that would be interesting. Um, Also, do you feel like my character in the fan fiction would continue forward, or do you think he'd be like a one off? Like, do you think my character would be like a rival to Kibo? Do you think him and Kibo would be friends? Do you think they would duel together? What are your thoughts? And if any of those questions were too spoilery, feel free to be like, well, I can't tell you now, but you'll know like soon, kind of thing. But yeah, after I get done going through my day and everything, I'd be more than happy to hit up that fanfic and start doing some more dramatic readings where we left off from before. By the way, do you remember where we left off in the fanfic? I remember we got like a little bit through, and then I think we got into live chat discussion and we like fell off at some point. So let's see. Oh, I was talking about D&D. So yeah, I really do feel like outside of combat, we need to have it set up where people take turns talking so that all of our characters have a good chance to develop and do what they want to do. Colin snapped at me at one point because everybody else's characters had like gone to the hotel to go to bed, and my character was like raised in a forest. That's like a big part of their character. So they like to try and find ways to like sleep outside or like find somewhere to camp. But we live in like an urban area. So my character's been moved out of the forest, and now I'm in like big cities for the first time. And my character's like, well, what I always just do is like live off the land. So I don't need like uh, posh hotel to stay in, you know. I can just live on my own 2 feet and like forage for food and like find like a nice shelter somewhere outdoors. So because we're in a city, my character didn't have anywhere like that. So I tried to, instead of getting a room in the hotel, maybe climb up to the top of the hotel on the roof and like set up camp like on the roof because it's like a pretty big building. Um, and Colin more or less snapped at me and said like, "Why do you have to play like really annoying characters in like every game that you play? And why is it that you can't just like stay in a hotel like everybody else? You're just slowing down the gameplay and you're not gonna let things go or whatever." And then CJ snapped at me later on in the game because my character had seen like a gnome for the first time. Outside of like the forest because my character was like a forest gnome, and that was like the only time he's ever been around gnomes, and now he's been into all these big cities and gnomes aren't as common because the gnomes have been living in the forest. So I see a gnome for the first time, and it could have been like a really interesting encounter where my character gets to like see one of his people and talk with him, and as soon as I said like hello to the gnome, CJ turns to me and goes like, "No, don't talk to him. Don't make it a thing. Because if you talk with him, then it'll take forever. And I don't really care about it. I just want to like get to my turn." And I just ended up saying like hi to the gnome, and then like that was it. Something that I feel like could have been like a big moment for my character. I just kind of let it pass because I didn't want to slow the game down. I didn't want to like piss people off. But at the same time, I feel like my character ends up suffering for it, and my experience ends up suffering for it because I can't do the things that I feel like my character would do in fear of like upsetting the game master or upsetting other players. I talked to Jarrod, Dozer, Matt, yeah, Jarrod, Dozer, and Matt about it, and they were like, we don't think it's like too bad. Gerard's theory is that Colin doesn't like the fact that he plans out like what he wants to happen in the story, and then my character doesn't necessarily go with that plan. So Colin will try to punish me essentially in game to get me to go on track with the story. But it ends up making situations that don't necessarily have to turn south for like no reason. And in a previous campaign, it was called like Smug Aura. It had to do with like how my character like behaved that people like didn't like them, but it made somewhat sense even though it really didn't. In this game, like in this campaign, it seems like I still have Smug Aura, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. Um, and then for the CJ case, Gerard's like, I think CJ just likes to pick with people. He's like, I feel like you should just go for it. Like, if you want to do something with your character, you should just kind of do it. And Matt was like, yeah, the way that you play your character, you're just doing what you think you would do. And I feel like you shouldn't let CJ hold you back. But those were two things that kind of weighed on me as I was like playing it that I feel like made the session feel a little less fun. Kel said, I was thinking of the Hydra dueling one of my OCs that uses a superstar archetype. Also, I was thinking Hydras would be a neat synchro archetype. Tell me more. Why do you feel like the Hydra heads would be a nice synchro archetype? Do you feel like that falls in line well with their individual card descriptions that I did in that one custom Yu-Gi-Oh card video? I'd like to hear more of your thoughts on that. Um, Oh, Colin during the hangout said that he hated Jank Heroes, For those of you who aren't familiar with Jank Heroes, it's a superhero tabletop RPG that I wrote. There are actually multiple versions of it that I've like written and published, and I've played it with my friends, and I've had mixed reviews on Jank Heroes. For the most part, I've heard that it can be like a fun experience and people can get really into it. But I've heard things from players have too much freedom to do whatever they want to players don't have enough freedom in the game kind of like controls what happens. So I don't really know what to say on like either of those because they're like contradicting views of how the game works. And then I've heard from some people that like the challenges aren't necessarily fair that like players face. That's mainly because I try to base the villains in Jank Heroes off of how comic book villains are, where villains don't necessarily have to be overpowered to be challenging. They just need powers that counter our heroes' powers that force the heroes to have to think of interesting situations in order to get around them. So not everything I've heard about Jank Heroes has been necessarily positive, and not all of it has been necessarily negative. It's been very mixed views on the game. But Colin today, while we were playing D&D, said that he hated Jank Heroes, which really surprised me. I didn't know that he hated it, and before today, I don't think he ever gave any inclination to hating Jank Heroes. Now I know he played a version of Jank Heroes that Matt had created, and he played one session of that, and he played one session of mine, and I don't think he finished the session with Matt. He had to like go to class. But the one session of mine that he played, we recorded it, like it's on the channel. It's episode 18 of Jank Heroes Fun to Fight. And when he played it, I like skipped to the end of the video, and he gave it a 7 out of 10. And he said that he had fun, and he said that the game didn't have a lot of structure. And he said, I recognize the game doesn't have a lot of structure on purpose because it's Jank Heroes, but he felt like structure would probably help the game a little bit. But he said that he had a fun time, and then he gave it a 7 out of 10. Today, he said that he hated it, that it wasn't fun, and that he wished he had never played it, which really like threw me because I don't know what happened between him playing that one session of Jank Heroes with me and that one session with Matt, and now that makes him like hate it. Because I understand if he didn't like Matt's version. I remember when Colin played Matt's version that he said he didn't like it. That like he really didn't like Matt's version. But he said that like right after he played it. Like he finished playing Matt's and he was like, "Oh, I just didn't like Matt's Jank Heroes at all." But on film, I can like go back and watch it. I like did go back and watch it. Colin straight up said 7 out of 10. I had fun, but there wasn't a lot of structure for Jank Heroes, and that just really threw me. I more or less wish that if he felt like he hated it at the time, like when he played it, that he had been more honest when we played before. I feel like that's my only gripe with it, is that if in the old footage I went back and then Colin was like, "Oh, I hated it," then I would have been like, "Oh, what was I thinking? Of course Colin hated it." But because I can go back and see that Colin didn't hate it then, I guess I don't understand why he hates it now. I don't know what changed between then and now because he hasn't played it between then and now. For him to just be like he hates Jank Heroes entirely, I just don't get it. Let's see. Kells said, I sort of remember the card descriptions. To really though, he said I just felt that it would be cool if it focused on synchros. Interesting. I would recommend checking out that one video that I did where I went over the different Hydra cards, the Hydra head cards. Um, the video was done in such a way to where I screen captured my whole screen, and it showed the live chat on one side and then the card descriptions on the other. So I think if you skip to the end of that video and like pause it, it'll show all the finished card descriptions for each of the cards that I had like made so far. Um, so you don't have to watch like the whole video or anything. But if you go to there and pause it, you can read through and then see if you still feel like it would be a good synchro archetype. Because I think the way that it's currently set up is that each of the heads kind of serve like a purpose, and that you want to have multiple heads on the field at any one time, so that you can fulfill the role that each head has to get like a good game going, if that makes sense. Um, so if it would be a synchro archetype, I'd be interested in seeing how you structure that, I guess, with how the Hydra head cards work, if that makes sense. But yeah, I did feel really weird about Colin saying that he hated Jankiers because I just don't know where he came from on that, like why he doesn't like it. After D&D, Dozer took Matt, Jarrod, and I to Cookout. It was my first time going to Cookout in a long time. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I got three questions for you, Ryan. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on today's stream? And question number three, do you have any questions for me? Let's see. Gerard said that he enjoyed it and that he gave it a 7 out of 10 going to Cookout because it was his first time ever going to Cookout. There we talked about the structure of how D&D works outside of combat and what players should do when their character isn't involved in a scene. I feel like we all agree that players should take turns outside of combat to ensure that everyone gets to do what they want to do. I also feel like we all agree that the more involved players are in the campaign story, the better for like D&D as a whole. Ryan said, I watched the new episode of Craig of the Creek. How was it? I'm behind on Craig of the Creek by a good amount. Also, there's a YouTuber that I think you might like. I mentioned him, I think, in yesterday's vlog, and I don't really remember his name now. But he did a video on black characters in cartoons, and he talks about like Fillmore and Craig of the Creek and Static Shock and things of that nature. But he talks about how black characters don't need to be written by black people and how black characters don't have to fall into stereotypical roles. I thought it was an interesting video, even though I don't know what necessarily prompted him to make that video. I thought it was definitely something that was like worth watching. I didn't, as I was watching it, go, I'm not entertained or this isn't interesting. So I feel like it would be worth your time. And that's coming from someone who normally doesn't care about videos that talk about race. So I feel like he did a good job. It was why I'm like really pushing him. Also, he's a channel that just talks about cartoons and animation in general. And I know that you do vibe with cartoons and talking about cartoons. So maybe you'll like their content. Uh, I think their name is Toonerific Tyreek. So it's like TOONIRIFIC, and then Tyreek is like TAIRIQ or whatever. It's pretty good. Let's see. Ryan said that he built a bunch of old format zombie decks. How many is a bunch of like old format zombie decks? And what is old format? Do you mean like pre-link monsters or do you mean like goat format? Like what exactly are we getting into? And then he said he made a couple of zombie synchro decks. So it sounds like you've been just doing a lot of zombie deck building in general. Is there any particular reason? Like 5 decks? Why? I guess would be my question. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just curious. That just seems like a lot of decks to just make on a whim. Just like, I guess I feel like making zombie decks today. You know what I mean? But that is interesting. He said one goat format. Okay. And then are the other four not goat format? Just like pre-link era, or were they just normal? Let's see. So now I need to jump on the amino so I can start reading the fanfic because that was my whole day. After we went to Cookout and we talked and hung out, Dozer dropped everybody else off, and then he dropped me off back at the dorm, and then I just more or less started the live stream. Kel said, "What summoning method do you think works with Hydras? Like as a special summoning method?" Um, I'm not sure. Right now, the way that the Hydra head archetype works, it mainly messes with main deck monsters rather than having. Oh, you know what? I think the best summoning archetype for the Hydra head, if it was to be like a special summoning method, would probably be Pendulum. That way you could set up the scales and then you could summon multiple Hydra heads to the field at the same time. The Hydra head archetype is based heavily on having more than one Hydra head on the field to get the most out of their effects. So if you set up the pendulum scales and then summon multiple Hydra heads onto the field, that allows them to like work better, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, if they had any special summoning type, I would definitely say pendulum would be like their big thing. That being said, though, I'm pretty sure there are Hydra head cards that are written in such a way to where it's like search a Hydra head card from your grave or deck kind of thing. They don't do a lot of top of the extra deck thing or like face up in the extra deck search. So if I were to make them a pendulum archetype, I think I would probably change some of those effects that have to do with the graveyard specifically to have to do with the extra deck face up as well, or in place of the grave. But I guess that would be up to your discretion. I'm okay with you changing the cards a little bit in order to better fit your story. Then Ryan said 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. So you made decks based off of different formats based off of different years. Okay, I think I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, that's everything that I did today is what I listed in the like 8 things that I just went over. If I was to give my day a rating, I don't normally do that, give my day a rating. But I would say that the first point about my laundry being damp is like 1 point for like the negative side. Or maybe I should give no points to things I didn't like. So no points for the damp laundry. I think the dream with the superpowers was cool. I don't know why I keep having weird superpower dreams, but it's not bad. Um, Thinking of a new deck building tabletop RPG was cool, so I'll give that a point. Um, the message confirmation with Danica and getting to see Catriel, I could see that as being a bad thing, but I think that was actually a good thing. I'll give that a point. Goat Boy Gaming said hi. Yo, Goat Boy Gaming, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I already have 3 fingers out, so I got 3 questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about in today's stream? And question number three, do you have any questions for me? Right now, I'm rating my day, so I'm going over like how I felt about today by giving it like a score. Ryan is talking about all the zombie decks that he's been working on today. He plays Yu Gi Oh! And he's been making some zombie Yu Gi Oh! Decks. And Kells is talking about fan fiction that he's writing. That's Yu Gi Oh! Fan fiction that stars myself as well as an original character named Kibo created by Kells. And Kells also has created, or is working on a fan fiction character based off of an archetype that I made. Well, I'm currently working on the archetype. It's a custom Yu Gi Oh! Card archetype called Hydra Head, and he's designing a fanfiction character based around the Hydra Head archetype, who would be a Hydra Head player. We're currently talking about that. Right now, I'm going over all the stuff that I thought was good today and giving points for that. And then anything bad that happened today, I don't give points to it. That way, I can figure out how I felt about my day on like a 10 scale. Let's see. My calf hurting earlier today is definitely a negative. I give no points to that. Um, then the Dunkin' Donuts breakfast was good. I'll give that a point. Hanging out with friends at D&D, that was good. I wouldn't give points to Colin hating Jankira's. I didn't think that was cool because I don't really know why. If I knew why, I think I'd feel better about it. And then hanging out with everybody at Cookout, that was fun. So I give 6 positive points to my day. And then I guess I should count negative stuff. So the damp laundry would be a negative point, so that would lower it to a 5. Um, let's see. Getting the leaves in my hair would lower it, so that would lower it to a 4. Um, the calf cramp would lower it to a 3, because I wasn't a fan of that. And then Colin's odd hate of Jen Kiros that I don't know where it's coming from, that would probably lower it to a 2. So we originally had a 6, and then that 6 went down to a 2. But the 6 wasn't on a 10 scale, so I need to relook at it from like a different perspective. Um, Fuck. So if I got from a 6 to a 2, that means that I had 10 things total. Oh, okay, I see. So I did have 10 total. I just had 4 bad and 6 good. So I think with that, I would say I give my day a 6 out of 10. So not too good, not too bad. I think some people would say 5 is like average for a day. But 6 would be on like the better side. I would prefer a 7 or higher for my day, but a 6 out of 10 isn't too bad. Kel said, "Oh, and last time on the fanfic, Kibo finished activating Future Clone Machine." Okay, so that's where we left off. I gotta make sure that I hit that up. Ryan said, "Jet, yo Ryan, what's up?" Goat Boy Gaming said he's had a good day today. He said it's 2 a.m. Where he's at, and he plays Force of Will, but it's too early to talk about what his deck is. Okay, cool. Sounds like you're still working on it or working out some changes. That or you're too tired to talk, excuse me, about it. I couldn't tell where you were coming from on that. But let's see. Force of Will is a game that my friend Matt really likes. He always brags about it because he likes the fact that unlike Magic the Gathering, you can always like draw a resource, so you never have to worry about like not drawing mana, which is a potential issue you can run into in Magic the Gathering. But he brags about that a lot. We've played Force of Will a couple times. It's personally not my cup of tea. I prefer games like Yu-Gi-Oh and Vanguard personally, but I'm not saying other games are bad. They're just not the kind of games I like to play. I'm not a big fan of Magic the Gathering's resource system. I'm not a big fan of Force of Will either. I'm personally not a big fan of resource systems in general. I like how in Yu-Gi-Oh, the way that you progress is by like special summoning cards and tribute summoning and things of that nature. There are resources, but not in the same way. And I like that in Vanguard, it's like a turn by turn progression based off of whether or not you can get like the next level up of your cards in your hand to like play. Again, there still are resources, but it's not formatted in the same way. But I prefer the way that Vanguard and Yu Gi Oh have progression. Let's see. Ryan said, craziest Naruto fanfic couple you can think of. Craziest Naruto fanfic couple. Well, people think it's crazy that Rock Lee and who's the girl that I always ship with Rock Lee? Tintin. I can't believe that Metal Lee is not somehow the daughter of Tintin and Rock Lee. I'm gonna keep pushing that. That's my headcanon fanfic couple for Naruto, no doubt. Then Ryan said, Kunkaru cross Konohamaru. Who's Kunkaru? I'm not very good with names of fictional characters. Oh, oh, so Gaara's brother and Konohamaru? That just feels like a random one. Like you picked two names out of a hat. Then Ryan said Frog OTK is the best. Frog, frog, frog. Um, Frogs are interesting. I don't think I've ever tried to play Frog, but I've definitely played against them, and they're pretty powerful. Goat Boy said, I did play Yu Gi Oh! You did, so does that mean that you used to play Yu Gi Oh? If you used to but don't anymore, I guess I'd ask, what motivated you to stop playing Yu Gi Oh? I know for a while locally, we have a local comic book shop called The Deep where I used to go to Yu Gi Oh tournaments at. I remember there was at least a week where everyone who used to play Yu Gi Oh switched over to Vanguard, and it seemed like Vanguard was the new game, and that like if you were cool, you played Vanguard, and no one played Yu Gi Oh anymore. And I think that lasted maybe a week or two before everyone just got back on the Yu Gi Oh train. Then Ryan said, craziest I said was the craziest Naruto fanfic couple I can think of. Hold on, I got you. The craziest one? Um, Gaara gets sent through time and he's now like in the he's in the Boruto era, but it's crazy early Naruto Gaara, and he's a couple with fucking Sasuke's daughter. Can't remember her name. Because I'm horrible with anime names. Sasuke's daughter. Sarada. Yeah, it's Sarada and young Gaara from the past. A weird time travel couple thing. Um, where Gaara is just like a crazy murderer who doesn't trust anybody. Yeah, Psycho Gaara cross Sarada. I think that would be a crazy as fuck fan fiction couple. That would be interesting to read. Not gonna lie. Then Goat Boy Gaming said Yu-Gi-Oh got boring. What do you think made Yu-Gi-Oh boring for you? Like made you suddenly go like, you know what? I don't vibe with the game anymore. Then Ryan said, but how does she not just die? Um, I think it's a thing where Sarada falls for Psycho Gara, and Psycho Gara has this weird, I think I want to kill her, but I'm not sure. So he keeps trying to kill her, but not at like his full potential because he doesn't really know if he wants to. And then she keeps trying to pursue him, but because she's such a good ninja, she's able to avoid eating shit and dying. Then Kirby said pineapples. Yo, Kirby, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Kirby, I got three questions for you. Number one, how's your day today? Number two, do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? And number three, do you have any questions for your boy? Go Boy Gaming said, because I kept playing the same people. So do you feel like you kept playing the same people and they always just played the same decks, so it just got repetitive? I feel like a good way to get around that would be to start doing like challenges where it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna like play only like this type of thing, or we're gonna like change it up and keep it fresh, and to play online to keep it from being expensive. Because to do challenges like that where it's like, okay, we're just gonna make like a crazy deck out of nowhere and like keep making it fresh. To do stuff like that in real life with real cards would be expensive as fuck. But if you do that online, then you can always keep it fresh, and then also you can play online against other people to keep the game fresh. Just play random matches with people on the internet. Let's see. Then Ryan said Sarada is too smart to not date psychopaths. She's too smart to not date psychopaths. Too smart to not. I feel like you meant to say Sarada is too smart to date psychopaths. Because to phrase it as Sarada is too smart to not date psychopaths, I think that still works. I think the not is messing with me because I feel like it works without the not, but maybe it still works with the not. I'm not sure. Sarada is too smart to not date psychopaths. Sarada is too smart to date psychopaths. I feel like you meant to say it without the not, but I'm not sure if the not necessarily makes it wrong. Also, I feel like I said not too much. Go Boy Gaming said with the same deck. So he was playing the same people with the same deck over and over again. Ryan said online Yu Gi Oh! Can remedy repetitive aspects. I agree with that. I think that's true. If you play online against different people, you can keep it fresh. Kirby said, my day's going well. That's great to hear, Kirby. He said, I think I'll be doing a YGO Pro 2 stream later. Yo, if you guys have not checked out his channel already, hit up your boy Kirby Ultra Star. He also does streaming content. He's one of the nicest people I have met. He is a very solid Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I feel like you should check out his content. He's super friendly, definitely worth smashing that subscribe button. Kel said, yeah, just play online so you can play any deck. Yeah, I do feel like playing online with Yu-Gi-Oh definitely keeps it fresh. And if you play custom cards online with Yu-Gi-Oh, shit can get crazy. You want to talk about fresh? Talk about new cards constantly being available all the time from a variety of creators. And whenever you jump in a custom card duel, you never know what the fuck you're gonna see because there's not a meta because everybody's just making up whatever the fuck they want. Then Ryan posted up frogs. I still need to get back to the fan fiction, Kibo versus Jet Part 2, written by your boy Kelza. Kirby said I might do assault mode again since I added and I dragged a amino link in front of. Ooh, I need to put that back on the bottom screen. I tried to make a small window on the top screen. I wouldn't be able to read that. Kirby said he might do assault mode again since he added 4 cards to the deck to try and make it more consistent. Ooh, ballin'. What did you add to the deck in order to try and make it better? Like to try and make it more consistent. Go Boy Gaming said, I have a $40 card. Congratulations. I think the most expensive trading card I have is not a Yu Gi Oh card, but a Magic the Gathering card. I have a card, I think it's called Cunning Wish. I don't think it's that expensive. Like, I don't think it's $40 or anything. But I remember it was a card my brother gave me, and I showed it to someone, and they were like, what? You have this card? Oh, like, I think this might actually be worth money, or whatever. And that's the only reason why I knew anything about it. Yeah, it's not super expensive. I think I just have a normal version of it, and one of the market price guides online says that the normal is only like $7. If it was a foil, it would be like $31 or something like that. But I don't have like a special version of Cunning Wish. Let's see. Then Ryan said assault mode new cards are frog. Then Goatboy Gaming said Oblivious the Tormember, so Obelisk the Tormentor, for $40. Not bad, not bad at all. That sounds cool. And then Ryan was like, "You mean obelisk?" Then Kirby said he added 3 fire formation Tinky to search for assault sniper and 1 emergency teleport to search for Psy reflector. Interesting. Then Ryan said which version of obelisk, to which then Goat Boy Gaming said shut up. Is that shut up directed to Ryan for the correction from the Oblivious the Tormentor to the Obelisk the Tormentor kind of thing? Let's see. So I need to figure out. Here we go. So the last place where I left off in the fanfic was Kibo had just activated Future Clone Machine. Ryan said I also have 1 for 1 to special psi. To special psi reflector. I don't know a lot about assault mode or psi reflector. I think I faced off against Kirby's assault mode deck maybe once or twice. I haven't had a lot of chances to go up against it. I've noticed Yu-Gi-Oh isn't winning as many fan polls as it used to. It used to dominate. Now Yu-Gi-Oh gets voted for like occasionally. Hmm. I guess I'm curious how you guys feel about that. The fact that Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't win as much as it used to. Then Ryan said, "Cause I haven't been voting." Oh, interesting. So you feel like if you were voting Yu-Gi-Oh, it would win a lot more? That sounds right. Go Boy Gaming said, "See ya." Whoop, catch you later, Go Boy Gaming. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. I truly appreciate it if you want to see more content like this. And don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed your time. Whoop, peace. I hope you have a great night, Go Boy Gaming. Then Ryan said frog once again. Kirby said, "The time on the polls don't line up to where I can vote." That's understandable. I do feel like there's this weird discrepancy with my school schedule versus the schedule of you guys, the actual viewers of the content. Because I'm always free from like 1 to 2 p.m. in order to like do the streams. And I can wake up. I try to wake up at 9 to do it, but as of recent, I've been having really weird dreams, and then I don't wake up as early as I would want to. I end up waking up like around like 10 or 11. So then not only is the fan poll like early, but it ends up being like inconsistent. I think one thing that I might start doing, but I feel like if I do it, it'll trip a few people up, and I don't want to like throw a monkey wrench in. But one thing I might start doing is right after these vlog streams, on Mondays through Thursdays, doing the fan poll video just straight up afterwards. Just going like, hey guys, it's like 1 a.m. or whatever, and I'm gonna like start the fan poll like hella early. Because then you would have from after the vlog stream all the way until like 1 p.m. of that day to vote. It would open the window up to where you just have hella time to vote. I think that would be interesting. I feel like a lot more people will have a chance to vote and participate in the fan polls that way. And then I don't have to wake up early to do it. I just need to do it after I do the vlog. I think that would be an interesting way to go about it. What do you guys think about that as a way to make voting just more accessible? Then Ryan said, "Should I build Frog OTK for you to experience it?" And he just post up a bunch of frogs. It sounds like you're hype. I mean, if you want to like do a Frog OTK, more power to you. I'm fine with that. Kirby said, "I know frogs are strong. Do it, Ryan. Do it. Do it." Mm. But what are you guys' thoughts on me doing the fan poll streams immediately after the vlogs, whenever we have like fan polls Monday through Thursday, to have like a larger fan poll window for you guys to vote in. That way, you guys have more time to vote and more people can vote. Do you guys think that's a good idea? Do you think that would knock the schedule off? What are your thoughts? Then Ryan said on the Wii game Dual Transfer, you can play Frog OTK, but it takes like 30 minutes for the combo. Oh my goodness, 30 minutes. And then Kirby said extended poll time. I'm all for that. And Kel said it works for me. It sounds like we'll probably start doing that then. So I'd have to remember on like Sunday nights and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights to right after the fan poll, doing a fan poll stream right afterwards, and that gives you like hours to like figure out what you want to vote for and vote. Ryan said guaranteed win, but not with it. Guaranteed win, but not with it. Is that in reference to the Frog OTK deck? Or is that in reference to the extended fan poll time? Let's see. So now I can finally jump in. Oh, Ryan said guaranteed win but not worth it. So I think that's definitely in regards to the Frog OTK. Because you don't want to sit there for 30 minutes to guarantee your victory, because that just takes too much time. And then Kirby's like, worth it? Yep, Kirby was right. That's exactly what Ryan was getting at. By the way, I noticed we got 4 viewers and 3 likes. Can we get it to 4 viewers and 4 likes? Kel said, frogs make me cry. Why is that? I'm sorry to hear that. I know my friend Montel, he doesn't vibe with frogs, and some people just don't. This one girl, Bailey, I went on a couple dates with, and we used to sit at the lunch table a lot last semester, like together, and hang out. She wasn't necessarily afraid of frogs, but she didn't fuck with Muppets, and she definitely didn't fuck with Kermit the Frog. That was like a really big thing. Ryan said dislikes incoming because of the oppression of frogs. Hey, let's see. So I was right at the part of the fanfic where the future clone machine card it went off. On the field, a giant machine with 2 chambers appears. The doors to the chambers open, revealing future sea glider in the right one, and future magician of dark arts goes into the left chamber, with the doors closing after he enters. Electricity goes all throughout the machine, with it violently shaking, ending with the 2 monsters exiting the chamber with smoke coming out from behind them. Future Magician of the Dark Arts is shown to have changed to a level 4 monster with 1600 attack points and 1500 defense points. Same for the stats of Future Sea Glider. I think to myself, that wasn't it. Kirby said, at least it's not Oswogs. What's Oswogs? Then Ryan said, oppression of the frogs. Scrolling down, Kibo says, as you all might have guessed, I will now build the overlay network once more. On the field, a giant, dark, cloudy, sparkling, and spiraling hole opens on Kibo's side of the field, with future Magician of the Dark Arts and future Sea Glider turning into dark beams of light that shoot into the hole. A huge beam of bright yellow light comes out, revealing Kibo's monster. Kibo then says, I XYZ summon the Pendulum XYZ monster who rules the depths of the underworld, future demonic king. Rank 4, 2800 attack, and 3000 defense. In case you were wondering why this card can only be XYZ summoned by using an XYZ monster as material, but unfortunately, in exchange, all of Future Magician of the Dark Arts XYZ material are transferred to Future Demonic King. I then say, I also noticed that all my cards' effects are negated. Kibo then says, yeah, when future Demonic King is XYZ summoned, all cards on the opponent's side of the field are negated until the end phase. Now, I'll activate one of his effects. I can detach an XYZ material for each monster on my opponent's side of the field and gain attack equal to double of each of their attack points. But if I have no XYZ material after activating this effect, I lose life points equal to half the damage this card deals this turn. Unfortunately, oh, not unfortunately. Fortunately for me, you only have one monster on the field. Kirby said Oswald an enemy from Pikmin. So Oswald is an enemy from Pikmin. I've actually never played a Pikmin game, and he is a playable character in Smash, but I don't think I've ever played Pikmin in Smash. Then Ryan said Wetlands Beatdown, as he's just really hype about the frogs. When you get beaten by the frog OTK, is it called a swamp stomp? Let's see. On the field, future Demonic King's attack points raised to 3400 attack. Kibo then says, future Archer Magician, attack Pendulum Fairy with Golden Arrow. On the field, future Archer Magician conjures an arrow with a shining golden tip. She draws back the bow with the arrow and shoots at a supersonic speed at Pendulum Fairy, destroying Pendulum Fairy and dealing 1700 points of damage to Jet. Gah! I activate Emergency Cheat Code. This card allows me to gain life points equal to half the amount of attack points of the weakest monster on the field. On the field, Jet's life points are raised by 1000 because Future Archer Magician is the weakest monster on the field and has 2000 attack. Thankfully, it also ends the battle phase. Alright then, in that case, I'll end my turn. The turn ends with Kibo having 1700 life points and myself having 2300 life points. Turn 4. I draw. Real quick, I gotta get rid of that demonic king, so I'll activate Player Armor Missile Launcher. On the field, a missile appears from Jet's spell and trap card zone, and it launches toward future demonic king. But before it could destroy Kibo's monster, Kibo interrupts, saying, "But then the next line is mine." It's interesting that it says Kibo interrupts, but then I'm the next one to talk. Demonic King's unaffected by opponent's card effects while it has XYZ material. The way that it's written, if you ignore the narration, is I do a move and then immediately go, wait, I can't do that move. Like just the hard realization. Let's see. On the field, the missile hits future Demonic King, but as the smoke goes through Kibo's field, future Demonic King's eyes glow menacingly as the smoke gets blown away to reveal the monster wasn't destroyed. In my head, I think, man, he waited for me to activate Missile Launcher before saying that he was unaffected by card effects, so I would waste Missile Launcher's effect. I gotta make this duel last, cause at this rate, I'll be done for next turn. I then out loud say, alright, cool, cool. I activate Player Armor Gauntlet. This card allows me to equip cards to me as if I was a monster. Now, I summon another player monster card, Player Monster Ghost. It's a level 4 monster with 1400 attack and 1600 defense. If I activated a player armor card, I can special summon him from hand. It's time for me to make the circuit that'll connect to another form that. Whoa, fuck. So many words. Make the circuit that'll connect to another. Form that world all summon the Link 2 monster, Player Armor Blaze Sword. Two arrows in the upper corners, 500 attack, Link 2. On the field, a square appears with 8 arrows on its borders, one on the top, bottom, and on its sides, and 2 on its top and bottom corners. Player Monster Pendulum Fairy and Player Monster Ghost turn into beams of light that shoot into the upper right and upper left corners on the square, with the arrows glowing afterwards. Player Armor Blaze Sword flies out of the square afterward, with the square dissipating after it exits. Player Armor Blaze Sword immediately activates, moving into the spell and trap card zone and changing into an equipped spell card that I equip to myself. On the field, Player Armor Blaze Sword disappears from Jet's side of the field, with it appearing again in Jet's hands. Jet's life points get raised to 4,300. Kels said, I don't know why there's so many errors. Sorry. No problem, Kels. I understand. Let's see. I then say, this card raises my life points by 2,000, but during the end phase, I lose 2,000 life points. Now it is time for me to attack your Archer Magician using the effect of Player Armor Helmet. On the field, Jet runs toward future Armor Magician, getting ready to hit with Player Armor Blazing Sword. Future Archer Magician puts its hands up to block the incoming attack, but Jet hits it regardless. Destroying it in a fiery explosion, dealing 299 points of damage, leaving Jet with 2001 life points. I now end my turn. On the field, Player Armor Blazing Sword's effect activates, dealing 2299 points of damage to Jet, leaving him with 1 life point. What? Hold on. So I was left with 2001 life points. And then I end my turn, and then I took 2299, which is just higher than 2001, and then it left me with 1. That only works if I had 2300 life points. I'm now confused. Hold on. So Archer Magician had 2000 attack, if I remember correctly, and I had 4300 life points. And then I would have had to have spent 2300 in order to hit and deal. Well, not 23. I would have had to have spent 2299. So I would have had to have spent the amount that it said, right? And then Kel said I misplaced the numbers. I'm sorry. No problem, Kels. No problem at all. I'm bad at math, so I was like not sure. That's why I was going over it. I was like, maybe I maybe I just don't get it. But I understand. Then I say, before your turn begins, I activate the Quick Play spell card within another shadow. If my life points are 1,000 or less, I gain life points equal to half of yours. That seems not bad. On the field, Jet's life points are raised to 851. Kibo now has 1,401 life points, and Jet has 851 life points. What on earth is this? At a certain point in the fanfic, there's like a bunch of corrupted words in it. That's interesting. Kibo's thoughts. He still has one card in his hand. Is he planning? Oh, sorry. I need to do the Kibo voice. He still has one card in his hand. Is he planning on something? He should have defeated me back in turn two. Does he know I have no plan? What is he waiting for? What is he planning? What power does he have? Does he know? Will he know? Does everyone know? They all know. I will prove them wrong. I will prove him wrong. Then there's like a whole bunch of dots. And so I guess it's just silence. And then he goes, I will win. On the field, a dark aura surrounds Kibo, his hair standing on end with his eyes turning red. His pendulum glows and the ground shakes beneath him for a second. The announcer, there's an announcer? The announcer goes, Folks, I think we're about to see something crazy happen. The audience, some look confused, some are scared, and a select few are smiling, and even smaller few, something put on a stern face. That's what it is. The put doesn't have a P in it. Put on a stern face. Then Jet's thoughts are, I think he did it. Then out loud I go, huh? Wait, so this whole time has my character been trying to get Kibo to activate like this extra powerful mode on purpose? Kibo then goes, I draw. I activate the spell card Gateway to a Space Between Worlds. This card allows to commence a vortex summon by using cards in my field or in my hand as vortex material. I tribute both cards in my Pendulum Zone and Future Demonic King for this summon. I vortex summon. On the field, a giant red and spiraling vortex rips out the ground itself. Future Retherist, Future Priestess, and Future Demonic King turn into blue beams of light that swirl into the vortex until they all meet at the center of the vortex. Then, a giant beam of blue light shoots out from the vortex, revealing Kibo's monster. I vortex summon the Pendulum Vortex monster, Future Cross Timeline King. What's happening to Kibo in this duel? Is this what Jet was waiting for? Find out next time on Yu-Gi-Oh! Reborn. So yeah, that's Kel's part 2 of the fanfiction. Oh, I see it already has 1 like by your boy Webslayer. Now it has 2 likes from me and Webslayer. I like what's going on in the fanfiction so far. I'm interested to see what I know about what I know about Kibo's transformation, because it seems like my character has an idea that Kibo like has this special power and he's been trying to get it out of him. But what's my motivation to facing Kibo and taking the L to see the power? Um, because I do think that's interesting. Um, I don't know what my character has up their sleeve in response to this, and also if Kibo realizes that he's transforming or not. Kel said, "Sorry, that was some high key cringe." Oh, I don't think it was that bad. Um, Matt thinks that like stories are cringe, but I didn't think that was cringe at all. I thought that was fine. Ryan said frog. Keep in mind this is like fan fiction. Um, and I feel like it's really fun fan fiction. I like seeing duels written out, like where it's like words describing everything that's happening. Because normally I either see duels mainly as images in like manga, or I see them as anime. I've never like read a duel like a book before, and I think this is pretty good. Right now, the live chat has frog fever. I see Kirby posting up hella frog emojis. So Orion, we've caught the plague of frogs. The frog invasion has begun. There are just frogs everywhere. Also, I noticed that we got 5 viewers and 4 likes. Can we get this video up to 5 viewers and 5 likes? Truly appreciate it. Also, now that I've gone over the fan fiction, I'd like to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on it? Right now, I'm still interested in what's going on in the story. I want to see why Kibo's transforming. I believe it has to do with his ability to vortex summon and his connection to the vortex, and why Jet wants to see Kibo connect to the vortex and transform. Like, what could his plan possibly be? Kirby said it's totally dupe Frog. Then Ryan said frogs are coming for you. Hey. But yeah, open question to everybody. Um, what would you like me to talk about on the stream? What would you like to talk about as a discussion? If anyone has any discussion topics they like to put forth, feel free to ask your boy Jet, and I'd be more than happy to oblige answering any questions that you all have. There we go. Just had a nice swig of water. Let me check the time. So right now it's 1:41 a.m. I'm trying to see if I want to play a game. Let's see. Ryan said, talk about your favorite frog. My favorite frog. I used to have a pet frog named Cereal. I had one named Cereal and one named Kermit. I had two frogs. They weren't amphibious frogs. They were straight up like underwater frogs, where they never fuck with land. They're always like swimming in a tank. And they were pretty cool. They're the only frogs I've ever owned personally. My favorite frog in fiction, I'd have to think about because I'm not super into frogs in fiction. I'm actually having trouble thinking of fictional frogs that I'd fuck with. Naruto has like the toads, but I'm not super into the toad characters. And then you have like the frog girl from My Hero Academia. I'm not sure if she counts. You got Toad from X-Men. I'm not a big fan of any of those characters I just named. Maybe the frogs from Flushed Away. I actually had a Flushed Away frog toy. It was like a fucking McDonald's Happy Meal toy. I used to actually play with that toy a lot. I thought it was pretty cool. I even remember I had it taken away from me at school once, like back in like fourth grade, because I had like brought it to school, and they're like, "You can't bring toys to school. What the fuck are you doing?" Um, so maybe the frog from Flushed Away. I thought he had a really cool toy when I was a kid. Let's see. Kells then put up an image of a mad emoji face pointing a gun at a frog. Then Kirby said, "Is the frog totally awesome?" Then Ryan said, "Frog OTK bomb." Then Ryan said, "Frogs from Thumbelina." I'm not sure if I've ever seen Thumbelina or really know what that is, so I'm going to Google it. Um, Looks like knockoff Cinderella, but I don't know because I've never seen it. 1994 animated film. Apparently, there's a frog in it. I'm about to Google this frog. It's a frog that's dressed up like a woman, is the first result, but then there's another one that's like a ugly frog dressed up like a clown. Honestly, don't know anything about Thumbelina. Ryan said, "Don't watch it. Is weird. Had it on VHS." Good to know. Thank you for the heads up. Well, now I'm curious. Are there any like frogs in DC Comics? Because I honestly don't know shit about frog characters. And this would be a good way to learn about frogs that I like. So the Croaker is the Joker in Farm League, which is like the Justice League, but they're all animals. So the Croaker is like the animal fill-in for the Joker. Then you got Fenimore Frog from Earthsea, which is like the cartoon like DC universe, and then you got Frog Prince from the Amethyst shorts. Fenimore Frog seems like the coolest. Then Ryan said TMNT are frogs. Isn't that more or less what Battletoads are for? And then Kirby said Teenage Mutant Ninja Frogs. Let's see. So Fenimore Frog. Frogzilla is an enemy of Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. Formerly known as Fenimore Frog, he is turned into a giant frog by Acrostic as a means of seeking revenge against his old foe, Dunbar Dodo. Excuse me. So he got turned into a giant monster frog. That's interesting. But he's in the cartoon universe. Yo, Ryan, how long is the hiatus for Young Justice Season 3? Because it seems like it's going to be a minute before we get more characters. I mean, not more characters, more episodes. Seems like they had like a mid-season finale or whatever. Ryan said, dunno. Kirby said, my D&D character can now sprout wings. Interesting. What race is your D&D character again, Kirby? Then Ryan said summertime. So Young Justice Season 3 is supposed to come back in the summertime? That's interesting. Uh, what's in the meantime on DC Universe to keep people, like, on it? Ryan said frog wings. Eh. Let's see. Kirby said human, but it's thanks to my draconic bloodline. Right. So did you take the feat? The feat that lets you get like the dragon wings? I was gonna do that for my character, but instead of taking the feat for draconic wings, I took mobile instead to increase my movement speed by 10. Then Ryan said frog bloodline. He said I get it at level 14. Okay, cool. So you just get it just straight out. That's not bad. Let's see. I was looking at a few news headlines. Speaking of Young Justice, I still haven't read Young Justice issue number 2. Came out Wednesday, so like a couple days ago, written by Brian Michael Bendis. I'm interested to see more about the adventures of Impulse. Impulse is a DC character who's been gone for like a long time in continuity, and now he's just suddenly back. But not only is he back, but he's made references, loose references, and incomplete references to the Marvel Universe, as if Impulse left DC for a few years and was running around in Marvel, and now he's back. And I want to know what's up with that. Also, there's a character called the Impossible Man in DC, where supposedly they claim that the Impossible Man could actually be Mr. Mixelplix from DC. So there are a lot of weird things like that between DC and Marvel. But I want to learn more about these weird Marvel references that were in issue 1 of Young Justice in the DC continuity and figure out whether or not more references were made in issue 2. Also, they brought my nigga Superboy back. Superboy is finally back at DC. I'm not talking about Superman's son, I'm talking about the clone. However, it doesn't seem like it's the same Superboy that I remembered from the New 52, which is the one that I'm the most familiar with. I read his whole New 52 run. So I'm a little disappointed and a little surprised. So, I don't know. I want to see what's going on with that. Let's see. So I'm thinking about maybe reading some comics while I talk with you guys on the stream. So right now I'm pulling up Read Comic Online so I can look at some Young Justice comics while we hang out. Read Comic Online, by the way, is my go-to website to read comics online. But it's now gotten a lot worse with like ads that are just really obtrusive and really fucking big, and they just get in the way. So Read Comic Online, I can't recommend it as easily as I used to. Ryan said illegally, reading comics online illegally. I almost said illegally. It is true that readcomiconline.to is not the official release, and it's not like an official comic book website. It's people just scanning the pages and then putting them online for you to just scroll through. I like it because you don't download anything. You can just go to the website and just read the comic straight. Um, I feel like this site is unusable on a phone. I never do it on a fucking phone. But on the computer, it's somewhat standable. There are just more ads now than there used to be that just pop up in your way. Ryan said it has always had ads. I think the ads are worse now, worse than they used to be. One big thing that they're pushing in Young Justice, the comic books right now, is Gem World and Amethyst, and those are two things I've never really cared about that much. I think I read a little bit about Amethyst in the New 52. She had like her own like mini run, and I don't think I finished it. I don't think it was bad, but I think I got distracted by other things. I ended up just moving past it. The start of this Young Justice issue 2 is doing a lot of Gym World stuff. It's like really pushing it. and I haven't gotten past the first few pages. Every time I start it, it starts with the gym world stuff, so I'm not reading very quickly because I'm trying to make sure that I'm taking in as much information as I can to understand what's going on, and I never get past it, but I need to get past it. Ryan said, I've watched the Gym World cartoon. It's great. Didn't they have like DC shorts that they used to show? Back when they had that little like DC block on weekends on Cartoon Network, where they would show Young Justice and Beware the Batman and stuff like that. Ryan said, yes. Is that what you're referring to? Or did it have like a show that wasn't just like shorts, but like full episodes? DC Nation, that was the name of the block. Thank you kindly, Ryan. I appreciate it. Uh, so you're talking about that, the little like mini shorts. I don't think I really got into those shorts, but I should watch them. I think all the DC Nation shorts are on DC Universe, and I do have the DC Universe subscription. By the way, we got 5 viewers and 4 likes. Can we get this video to 5 viewers and 5 likes? Truly appreciate it. Right now, I'm reading Young Justice issue number 2. Kel said, I'm back. By the way, thanks for reading the fanfic. Oh, no problem. I'm excited to see what will happen in part 3. I'm excited to see your ideas for the Hydra Head archetype player and for the Hydra Head archetype cards, like how you are going to like incorporate them into the story, what's the strategy going to be, what are the matchups going to be like. I'm excited to see fan art of like how you envision the Hydra Head archetype player. And if you would be interested, fan art of like your boy Jet in the Kibo style and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Reborn style with like a dual disc and everything, I think that'd be pretty dope. So I just really want to see like what all that you like do with it and how you build it up over time. Because I am legitimately interested in seeing how it'll develop. Then Ryan said, I've read the Young Justice cartoon comics. Right now, I'm reading the Young Justice continuity comics. So these are the ones that are like in the main continuity, not in like the animated universe continuity. And then Kirby said, I have Hydra Head cards in Magic the Gathering. I recently designed a Hydra Head custom archetype, an effect and name only. So I haven't made card arts yet, and I haven't uploaded the cards on Dueling Book yet, but I plan to in future Dueling Book custom card streams. Ryan said fan art. Then Dragon Ball Superfan said, sup, bro? Yo, Dragon Ball Superfan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Got 3 questions for you. Question number 1, how's your day today? Question number 2, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on stream? And question number 3, do you have any questions for your boy? Right now, I am reading Young Justice issue number 2, came out this Wednesday. Kells is talking about the fanfic that he wrote, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh fanfic called Yu-Gi-Oh Reborn, starring your boy Jet Black and a OC character created by him named Kibo. Ryan is talking about the DC Nation shorts, that old block of like DC cartoons that used to come on Cartoon Network, and the Young Justice cartoon comics, which he's read because he keeps up with the Young Justice continuity in the comics and within like the cartoon series itself. Kirby brought up Hydra Head cards from Magic the Gathering because I had mentioned the Hydra Head custom archetype that I'm working on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Kirby said there are even unique rules involved when playing against the Hydra Head archetype. Interesting. What are like these unique rules like? Ryan said the 4th question: will you let her sit on his ex-wife? Will you let her sit on his ex-wife? That's an interesting way to like phrase that breakdown. And then Kirby said, I have the cards in untap. Oh, interesting. What are your thoughts on the Hydra Head archetype for Magic the Gathering, and how exactly do they work? If you could give me like a quick summary of like how the archetype works, like what the gimmick is of the Hydra Head archetype in Magic the Gathering, without going into too much detail. I don't know what tongue tied me when I was saying archetype. I think I wanted to say another word that had similar A syllables, and I was jumping ahead. Kirby said it's supposed to be a replacement for playing against yourself. What? So the Hydra Head archetype exists for you to goldfish? Goldfishing is a term used for when you play Magic the Gathering and you just throw your cards down and you think about, well, what if my opponent does this? And you like change your board around and you essentially play a full game just trying to test out your deck on your by yourself. is the Hydra head Magic the Gathering archetype more or less made for you to do that? Then Ryan said frogs greater than everything. Then Dragon Ball Superfan said, my day is going good. That's great to hear. He said, I want to talk about 21 Savage being born in the UK. Also, can I friend you in PSN? Yeah, feel free to send me a friend request on PSN. I believe that my name on PlayStation Network is just Jet Black RLSH. I don't know what the capitalization is like, so you'll have to check on that. I noticed that when I tried to type that in, um, it looks weird. It said error, try again. So I'm not sure if that worked. I'm gonna try one more time. Maybe that one worked. I don't understand why it says error, try again. So I can't tell if you guys can see it or not, but I tried to type in my username. It's JETBLACKRLSH on PlayStation Network. So feel free to check that out. If you want to send me a PlayStation friend request, feel free to do so. Next time I log into my PlayStation, I'll have to make sure to check my notifications and just add you as a friend. Oh, there you go. Your boy Kirby posted it in the live chat. Thank you kindly. Truly appreciate it. Kel said frogs less than trash, less than the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, less than odd eyes. Then Ryan said frogs greater than, and then Kirby put my name. Uh, Unintentionally, the teamwork frogs are greater than me. You heard it here, folks. Let's see. I'm still reading the Young Justice issue 2 thing. It's too. Kirby said, wait, no. Everything's falling into place. Ryan playing this from the start. He knew. Let's see. Did you hear what happened at the wedding of Prince Topaz and Lady Sapphire? No, Ginch, I have a life. Damn, what a hard shit on. Well, Prince Moonstone, if you did, you know the entire house of Topaz is already under the control of Opal. And what would you have me do? Why am I out here? I don't know any of these characters or what the fuck they're talking about. It's just weird amethyst gym world politics. Kirby said, not like this. Then Ryan said, frogs greater than Jet's ex-wife. I think Maddie could beat frogs. She used to be third in the world in martial arts. How many frogs are we talking? I think everyone has limits, though. There are only so many frogs a single person can defeat. Ryan asked me if the flying horse is there. It might be. Cheating and looking to the last panel on this page, it might be appearing like in that last panel, but I'm not sure. Ryan said all of the frogs. Maddie versus all of the frogs? Maddie would die. Too many frogs. Join us. We'll make our mark before we lose our chance. If we turn on the House of Amethyst now, if we do it on our own and present it to Opal as an act of partnership, we are guaranteed our place at the new table. That doe-eyed Princess Amethyst, who barely knows how to hold a sword, by the way. Amethyst made her bed. I just don't want to find myself burning on the same funeral pyre she does as the Dark Lord Opal spits on our ashes. Damn, that's pretty dark. He's like smoking a cigarette and they're talking about like overthrowing the kingdom, more or less. Let's see. Ryan said poison dart frog. Poison dart frog. Isn't that like instant death if it like touches you? Kirby said just make sure you run from the frogs in the Don't Starve game. Those frogs have no chill. What's the Don't Starve game? And why do the frogs have no chill? Wow. Well, to sell it, I guess. And what exactly are we to present to Opal with to incur this favor? Her head. Amethyst's head. Oh, they're gonna try to kill Princess Amethyst? That seems like an interesting theory. Like, hey, what if we kill the princess to get the favor of the Dark Lord Opal, huh? Sounds like a good idea. No, this is like two niggas talking. Maybe three to four? Maybe four niggas. I don't think they got it. That seems like a very ambitious plan to try and gain favor with like the new kingdom. Kells then has odd eyes as an archetype holding a gun up to the frogs. Then Kirby said, it's a very unforgiving Minecraft, and I have no idea. They just attack you on sight. Interesting. And you said the game is called Don't Starve? Hmm. So it's just like super hard mode Minecraft with pissed frogs. I see. I like how someone says what, like put in a box in reference to like Amethyst's head. And it said, "Do you hear that flap? Oh, come on." So that probably is Amethyst on the flying horse. We'll see. Oh shit. It's Robin, not Jason Todd, Tim Drake Robin on a flying unicorn next to Amethyst. And then Amethyst says, "You want my head? Then come get it." And then Robin looks like he's having a fucking blast riding a fucking Pegasus unicorn. Meanwhile, Ginny Hex is driving a pickup truck in the fucking forest of topaz. So it looks like all the Young Justice people are just in Gym World now. Let's see. Kirby said Tim Drake Robin. Yeah. So the Young Justice team right now, I'm gonna try to name all of them from memory. You got Impulse, Connor Kent Superboy, so the clone of Superman Superboy. Impulse. Oh wait, sorry. Did I start with Impulse and then say Connor Kent? Let me start over. You got Impulse, which is like Bart Allen, who's like Barry Allen's like grandson from the future, some shit like that. Connor Kent Superboy, which is like the clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, who's like a weird psychic character. You got Tim Drake Robin, who's more of like the technology based Red Robin, who, according to the New 52, was never Robin, but in this, he's just Robin, so I don't fucking know what they're doing anymore. You got Teen Lantern, who's like a young black girl who I believe hacked into a Green Lantern ring or into a Green Lantern battery, and that's how she has Green Lantern power. She wasn't actually chosen by a ring, as far as I'm aware. Um, you got Ginny Hex, which is like Jonah Hex's niece or daughter or some shit like that. She's just a female cowgirl character who has like a space laser pistol and she drives a pickup truck. And you got Amethyst, the Princess of Gym World, but I think she's joining the team this issue. Oh, and you got Wonder Girl, who is like a Wonder Woman sidekick character. I think it's a team made up of 7 members. I think that's the 7. But we'll see if I remembered everyone. One issue that I have when reading these comics is that I haven't been reading comics a lot. I've been reading manga more recently, so I keep trying to read them in the reverse panel order, and that's just not how they work. Oh, she also just has a normal shotgun. So Jenny Hex has a weird space laser gun that looks like a 50s child's toy, and then she just has a real shotgun. Excuse me. Let's see. So apparently Ginny Hex and Wonder Girl don't know each other, which is interesting. The team is kind of getting built right as like the book is happening. So the team has their first team up at the end of issue 1, but they don't all know each other. They just kind of all ended up in the same place at the same time. And now they're all like more or less meeting each other. The new outsiders? The fuck? Kirby said, also, I have my Time Lord deck better. I hope so at least. Oh, I'd be balling. I'd be willing to check out like your Time Lords face you in a match. Your Time Lords I already thought were really good, so if your Time Lords are even better, I imagine you definitely wipe the floor with your boy Jet. No contest. Oh, there's like a flashback of Wonder Girl facing off against Despero, I think. And Despero, as he's getting kicked in the face by Wonder Girl, is like, I don't even know who you are, which is an interesting thing to say as you're like actually eating shit on a football field. Pretty sure this is Despero. Is this like a hard wank for Wonder Girl? Because she is fighting a character that normally the Justice League would take on. Kirby said I took out 4 of the cards that I thought have been useless and added cards that are hopefully more helpful to his Time Lord deck. That does sound like a good way in order to like try and make your deck better. Nani said, "Does Nick win?" Yo, Nani, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I got 3 questions for you. How's your day today? Do you have any discussion topics for the stream? And do you have any questions for your boy? Right now, I am reading Young Justice issue 2. I'm not doing a dramatic reading necessarily. I'm just like reading over it. I mean, reading the live chat. I've kind of already gone over my day and everything, and the live chat, for the most part, is quieted down. Right now, Kirby's talking about his Time Lord deck and how he's tried to improve it by removing cards that he thought were useless and putting in more helpful cards. Kirby said 3 Mound of the Bound Creator and 1 Monster Reborn. Interesting. So you added in a lot more field play spell cards. Mound of the Bound of the Creator has a level 10 monster support, right? Did you put that in due to the high level Time Lord cards? Then Nani said good, and where's Winslow, Bangzell, and Matt? Matt and Bangzell are back at their respective homes. Hung out with them earlier today for D&D and fighting games, as always. We also went to Cookout after we did D&D, and that was fun. And then Winslow is probably at his dorm asleep because it is 2:07 a.m. And then Kirby said Time Lords are all level 10. That makes sense. So it definitely makes sense why you would play Mound of the Bound Creator. Looks like Wonder Girl very easily took out Despero, but we didn't get to see the beginning of the fight. But she doesn't look tattered or have any claw marks on her anyway, or anything. She just knocked the fuck out of him. How strong is Despero normally? I could have sworn he was a character that like the Justice League would fight all together. Nani said, "So you're 2 hours ahead of me." Oh, so for you it's like midnight essentially. That's interesting. Hmm. Someone said it's Zatanna in reference to Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl looks nothing like Zatanna. Zatanna's a brunette for sure. Wonder Girl is a blonde. Dragon Ball Superfan said, "What about One Piece?" So One Piece is an anime that I personally have not watched, like at all. Um, I've never been a fan of One Piece's art style whenever I would see it on TV. So I've never really given it a chance. I think I saw part of a One Piece episode once with no context, and they were like fighting on a train, and it looked really silly. But I've heard great things about it. I heard it's an amazing show, and I'm willing to give it a shot. They claim that they're going to make a live action version of One Piece that's going to be true to the manga. And I think I'm just going to wait for that live action version to come out and try to stick like to that live action version and keep up to date on it. It'll take forever for it to catch up with the anime. But if they do drop a live action version of One Piece, I think that is the way that I'm gonna try and like take it in. Let's see. Kirby said it's 12:08 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. Kirby said level 10 or higher monsters on the field cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. If a level 10 or higher monster on the field destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, the player who controlled the destroyed monster takes 1,000 damage. That's the effect of Mound of the Bound Creator, which Kirby added 3 of them things to his Time Lord deck. And all his Time Lord monsters are level 10 monsters, so they all benefit from it. Hey, that's pretty good. Um, has that been a problem before? Like any of your monsters being destroyed by battle, um, and sent to the graveyard? Like any of your Time Lords? Because I know that your Time Lords more or less prevent themselves from getting dicked, right? Also, were your Time Lords getting targeted or destroyed by card effects before? That would be like my other question. I think regardless of whether or not they have been, your Time Lords. Do your Time Lords normally destroy stuff by battle? I think you maybe have like 1 or 2 that destroy things by battle. Kirby said there's another effect, but it's irrelevant. So you feel like those are the most relevant effects in regards to your deck. For what monsters do you feel like benefit from the 2 respective relevant effects in your deck? Like, do all of them benefit from all of those effects, or do you feel like some of them in particular benefit from certain effects? I personally haven't really played Time Lords. I've only played against Time Lords, facing off against you. Let's see. People just don't know who the fuck Wonder Girl is. I feel like she's getting some hard shade. Gosh, no one knows who the fuck she is. It's really weird. She like just defeated like a high profile supervillain. Wonder Girl did at like a high school, and everybody, no one knows who she is, and she just feels really awkward, and people think she's Satana for some reason, but she doesn't look anything like Satana, which doesn't make any sense. But she clearly has like a Wonder Woman aesthetic. She has like the big ass Wonder Woman W on, and she has some star earrings, and she has a lasso of truth. But no one's even trying to say that she like looks kind of like a blonde Wonder Woman character. To say that she's Zatanna just doesn't make any sense. There's no resemblance. Maybe Black Canary because she's like blonde. I just don't get it. Kirby said all of the Time Lords benefit from it, but there is one that takes advantage from the 1000 damage effect as well as the protection. Interesting. Is that a Time Lord that in particular stays on the field for a prolonged period of time and attacks your opponent's monsters? I know there's at least one like that, right? I say I know, and then I ask right because I don't actually know. I'm trying to see if that's true. It's been a long time since we've done Time Lord duels, like me versus you. It's been a hot minute. Let's see. So, Wonder Girl had to do a police report? That makes sense. And someone came up to her and she didn't seem happy about it. I guess it was her dad. I think her dad might be Zeus. Let's see. Kirby said, no, it's the only one that can actually destroy a monster by battle. Oh, okay. Um, we need to have another duel sometimes, Kirby. When was the last time me and you faced off in a Yu Gi Oh duel? Oh, Zeus is Wonder Girl's grandpa? And it takes place before Wonder Woman number 45, I guess. Then Kirby said a hot minute. So it's been a hot minute since me and Kirby have faced off. You should vote in the next fan poll for us to do like Dueling Nexus or something and like hit it up. It's been a minute since I've played Yu Gi Oh! Not custom cards, I think. Nani said cool. Wonder Girl seemed suspicious about her grandfather visiting her. She immediately was like, who died? Oh, oh, that's interesting. So Wonder Girl's never been visited by her grandfather before on Earth. So I guess that does mean that something's different. Nani said, what if Nick turns into a cave monster? If I had the power to turn into a cave monster, I think I would try and use those abilities in order to like be a superhero. What powers does a cave monster have? I feel like cave monsters would have trouble looking like in sunlight. I think they'd be used to like the dark. Apparently, cave monsters are a thing in D&D 5e. Because when I typed in cave monster, it was like, do you mean Yu-Gi-Oh 5e? Not Yu-Gi-Oh, D&D 5e. Let me type in cave monsters generically without mentioning D&D. It seems like there are a lot of different depictions of what a cave monster may or may not be. I was hoping when it said that there was like a D&D thing that it would take me to like a very specific type of image. Let's see. Kirby said aside from Cephalon, the Ultimate Time Lord, one of the two Time Lords I don't like, Sandion, the Time Lord, is the only Time Lord that has actual attack. 4,000, in fact. Yeah, because the other Time Lords all have zero attack, right? Or am I wrong? It's actually been a really long time since I've faced anyone who plays Time Lords. The Nani said, "What if Nick turned into the whipping god?" You mentioned this the other day. You asked me what would I do if whenever I whipped, it would like destroy a planet or whatever. And I said I just probably wouldn't whip then. I'd try my best not to whip so that I wouldn't like accidentally destroy a planet. Also, if we had a challenge of who would win in a fight, Nick the Whipping God versus Nick the Cave Monster, I imagine as long as Nick the Cave Monster could defeat Nick the Whipping God before he could whip, then the Cave Monster would win. But if the Whipping God could whip first, I think he could whip away the Cave Monster Nick with the greatest of ease. Kirby said they'll have zero aside from those two. The other Time Lord I don't like alongside Cephalon is Halon the Time Lord. Interesting. So you're just not really a fan of them? Is it because of the fact that they like have attack points and like attack and things of that nature? Let's see. Huh. So Wonder Girl's never even heard of Zeus being on Earth. Hmm. Interesting. So Zeus is now considering Wonder Girl to be like next up when it comes to like the gods. He's like, you have a future, and he's trying to get involved in her life. Hmm. Interesting. So Zeus is like, I haven't taken responsibility for you being my granddaughter, and if you're going to like be a god, then I need to teach you what it means to be a god and prepare you for that. So that's really cool. Nani, to give you a little bit of context, I'm currently reading Young Justice issue 2. There's a new Young Justice comic book series out by DC that's being written by Brian Michael Bendis. He's the guy who used to write Ultimate Spider-Man for Marvel, and now he's left Marvel and he works for DC. And he writes Superman comics for DC, and he's also writing this Young Justice book. And the Young Justice book so far is interesting to say the least. I'm not too into the gym world stuff that it's doing. That's about this whole alternate universe where everybody's named after crystals and shit like that. I'm not really that interested in that. But this part right here about Zeus training Wonder Girl to become a god. Wonder Girl is a Wonder Woman sidekick character who is the granddaughter of Zeus. So Zeus wanting to train his granddaughter to become a god, but his granddaughter is like, fuck it, maybe like 15 or 16 years old. That's a lot of weight to put on someone who's like barely an adult. Not even. She's not even really an adult. To be like, oh, I guess you're gonna be a god now. I got to teach you how to be a god. So I think that actually is a very interesting concept for a plot, and I'd like to see that get developed further. That seems really cool. Kirby said excluding the part of its effect that all other Time Lords share. Hylon has, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference after this card battles. Um, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference. So if your life points are lower than your opponent's. So why do you dislike that effect, Kirby? Ah, let's see. Interesting. So Zeus has given Wonder Girl this magic-looking necklace that's supposedly her birthright. So it's part of the Trinity of the Gods. And it goes with her bracelet and her lasso, which I guess are the other parts of the Trinity. They're like gadgets, essentially. So once she becomes a fully fledged member of the Pantheon of Gods, all three are gifted to their rightful owner. Hold on. So Wonder Girl is officially going to be a god? That's fucking crazy. Kirby said, because I've had it trigger and its effect benefit it does trigger is very minimal. And then he says he's never had it trigger. Oh, okay. So Kirby's not a fan of Hylon's effect because it's never triggered and because he feels like even if it does, excuse me, it's a shitty effect. Fair enough. It's supposed to be a comeback mechanic card, it sounds like. It's like when you're not doing well in the duel, it helps try and balance the scales by making your opponent a little bit weaker. And then Nani said, cool. Yeah, I do think that's cool. To see a sidekick character like Wonder Girl essentially becoming a full fledged god. Um, that's pretty dope. Hmm. So Wonder Girl asks Zeus why. Like, why is it that he's trying to make her a fully fledged god? And Zeus is like, why what? And I kind of have to agree with Zeus. Like, what has Zeus said that's not clear? Um, but I guess I understand where she's coming from too, because it does seem sudden. Kirby said Sadie on the Time Lord has a life saving effect that I would much rather use than Halon's effect. What is Sadion's effect, or Sadion? I haven't decided on how I'm supposed to say his name. Okay, so mainly Wonder Girl wants to know why she deserves to be a god. Hmm. So she feels like she should have earned godhood instead of it just being given to her? Interesting. Kirby said at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled and your life points are less than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. That seems pretty good, Kirby, because regardless of how low your fucking life points are, you can always at least get to half mass. That could work even if you had like one life point. So, hey, that's pretty good. Nani said, so Nick has those dreads for fun. Uh, yeah, I like the dreads. I used to have like a full-fledged afro, and then I cut the sides off the afro. Well, I didn't cut the. I go to a barber, but the afro sides got cut off, and then my hair naturally dreads. This is just something I didn't learn until later in life, because when I was younger, I used to have my hair really low, and then when I got older, I used to cut my hair bald. I had a bald head when I first went to college, and then throughout college, I let my hair grow out for the first time, and then I had an afro for the first time. And then when Dad was fucking tired of the afro, that's when I got to dreads. And now I have dreads. I like them. This is my first time in my life ever having long hair for real, and it's been an interesting experience for sure. Kirby said his hair just kind of fell down when the sides were cut. And then Nani said, really? Bald? Yeah, I used to be dead ass bald back in the day. Look at some of the older videos on the channel. You'll see my hair go through a shit ton of changes just over time. But it definitely wasn't like this back in the day. So yeah, check it out. Just flip through some of the old stuff on the channel. I'm sure you'll see plenty. Let's see. Oh, Zeus called his granddaughter ungrateful. She turned down being a god. Interesting. That sounds fucking annoying. I actually really don't like it when characters do that. I don't understand the point of turning down being a god ever. Why not just accept it? Why not? Or if you're suspicious, why don't you take the amulet to Wonder Woman? You know, the amulet that makes you a god, and ask Wonder Woman, "Yo, is this legit, or am I gonna like get fucked?" And then Wonder Woman go like, "Let me examine it." And then she can take it to someone who actually knows the answer, like Dr. Fate, and then he can be like, "Yeah, that's legit. Zeus gave it to you. Yeah, that's just a real amulet that turns niggas into gods. You should put it on. You'd be stupid not to." Seems like a weird thing to turn down. Nani said, "Oh yeah, I think I remember." Kirby said the one Time Lord that kind of is an oddity is Gabrion, the Time Lord. So what makes Gabrion an oddity? What makes him special? Hmm. So Wonder Girl has this complex. She self admits this. She has a complex that says that she needs to earn her own way. And she's not gonna just fucking become a god because her grandfather, who is Zeus, who is like a hella important god, says that she should. That doesn't make any fucking sense. What? What the fuck? So, Wonder Girl's like, I'm tired of people telling me who I'm supposed to be. I want to decide for myself who I am, and if being a god is what I'm really supposed to do, then one day I'll do it on my own without you just handing me an amulet. But right now it doesn't feel like something I've earned, and I feel like you're trying to make me be something that I necessarily haven't like made the choice to earn and do. Nigga, just be a god. Just come on. She could have accepted the necklace, right? Become a god, and then said, and I'm not gonna let you tell me what to do, Zeus, because I'm a god now. And I'm gonna decide the god that I wanna be. Like, you can still be independent and make your own choices, but he's giving you godhood for free. You'll, for free, be a god. And it's not like, oh, if you put on this necklace, Zeus, like, controls your mind or some shit. You can still be an independent woman and, like, earn your way and decide who you want to be in life, but you can do that while being a deity. I don't know why you would ever turn down being a god for like no reason. That's just hella fucking stupid. Kirby said, at the end of the battle phase of this card battled, shuffle as many cards your opponent controls as possible into the deck. Then they draw cards equal to the number shuffled into their main deck. I think I've faced him before going against you, because that does seem like an annoying power. Kirby said it empties the board but fills the hand. Mm-hmm. Then Nani said, damn, I'm about to be 741 days logged in on Dokkan Battle. Then Kirby said, at Nani, how do you see that? And then Nani says it tells you when you log in. I stopped playing Dokkan Battle like forever ago. Nani said, and on your gift box. I used to play Dragon Ball Legends, but people don't vote for it anymore in the fan poll. I still have it on my phone. I just haven't played it in like actually forever. Zeus gave her such a the fuck face for that. I don't fully understand where she's coming from. She's wow. Is it not really Zeus? Is she gonna pass some test? Nope, nope. I think it was actually Zeus, and then she just decided not to be a god for no reason. That was very dumb. Kirby says he's logged in 1,163 days on Dokkan Battle. That's pretty intense. Not gonna lie. Let's see. Why is it that no one knows who Wonder Girl is? I actually don't understand that. Oh, Teen Lantern knows who Wonder Girl is? Interesting. So let's see. Nani said, Kirby, I thought you didn't like it. And then he said, so you got LR Goku? Kirby said, I like. It's Nick that doesn't like it. Yeah, I don't really vibe with Dokkan. I thought the color matching part of Dokkan was cool with the orbs and everything. I don't like the board game. I feel like the board game takes up too much of Dokkan and it's not really that fun. Whenever they do like the world tournament thing in Dokkan where you faced people and it was mainly you do the colored orb shit, it didn't have to do with the board game. The board game was just how you ran into your opponents in the world tournament. That was cool. But like the main game where you go across the fucking board and you like fight people, I thought that was just kind of annoying and unnecessary. I wasn't a fan of that at all. I much more prefer Legends. Kirby said I have the LR Goku as my friend supporter. Oh, interesting. Oh shit, that doesn't make any sense. Wonder Girl picks up Ginny Hex's car and carries it, but she carries it by just holding on to the top hood of the car. But she would just like rip the hood of the car off, would she not? Like, I don't think that's a good point for you to pick up a car at where you wouldn't just break the car instead of lifting it. Then Nani said, "So you do or don't?" And then Kirby said, Do or don't what?" I don't like Dokkan Battle because I don't like the board game part of it. I do like the match the colors part of Dokkan Battle. I don't like the board game part. I uninstalled Dokkan Battle. I didn't think it was worth playing. I do like Dragon Ball Legends though. I think Dragon Ball Legends is a cool game. Then Nani said, "Have the LR Spirit Bomb Goku." I mean, Kirby says that he has the LR Goku as his friend support. Is that the same Goku that Nani's referring to? Kirby says, "I do." Okay, cool. Sounds like Kirby has it. Hmm. If Wonder Girl drops this fucking truck, Ginny Hex is probably just gonna die. I think Ginny Hex is more or less just a future cowboy. I don't think she has any special powers that would let her save a car crashing out of the sky. Then Nani said, "Okay, lol." And it looks like all the characters just crashed into each other. So that's good. From this position, I could see Robin eating shit and dying. I could see Jenny Hex eating shit and dying. Amethyst might also eat shit and die. I think Teen Lantern would be okay. And so would Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl could probably save Robin and Jenny Hex at the same time. Amethyst might be able to break her own fall or whistle for the Pegasus Unicorn to save her. Teen Lantern could also try to save her. I don't know, but this is interesting so far. Let's see. Nani said Dokkan Battle was fun, and they're making their animations better. Kirby said, "I don't like it for my team, so I let my friends use it." Interesting. Then Nani said, like Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and Broly, their animations look just like the anime. I'm glad that you dig it. I don't know. I don't like the board game. That's just my biggest complaint. I felt like the board game part was boring, and then I spent more time navigating the board game areas than I did actually doing the color matching fight thing. And then I still preferred Dragon Ball Legends combat over the color matching thing. I didn't think the color matching thing was ass, but I definitely prefer Dragon Ball Legends fighting more than the color matching. Nani said, "I like it because it reminds me of," and then he didn't put what it reminded him of. And then he said it reminds him of Budokai 2. The animation remind you of Budokai 2? I don't fully understand what you mean. Also, I don't think I ever played Budokai 2. I had Budokai 1 on the GameCube. Oh, Teen Lantern saved everybody by just making a bunch of pillows. The fuck? That was interesting. Nani said no when you say the cardboard thing. Oh, the you mean the board game thing? Then Kirby said, "Are we friends on Dokkan Nani?" And then Nani said, "You do that on the story mode, the board game thing." Yeah. Oh, you do the board game thing on the Budokai story mode? Is that what you're saying? Like I said, I never played Budokai 2. That's interesting. And then he said the cardboard game thing. I don't know why you say cardboard game thing. Uh, you can just say board game thing. Or just board game. You can just say board game. But it's okay that you say cardboard game thing. To each their own. It's just whenever you say that, I think of like a cardboard box, and then my brain has to go, no, that's not what he's saying. He means a board game. Amethyst looks weird. She kind of looks more like Starfire the way she's drawn. Let's see. Nani said, "Yeah, when you move your characters, are you talking about that when you move them to get items or fight someone?" Yeah, across the board game thing. I agree that we are talking about the same thing. I don't like the board game part. I'm not a fan. Nani said, "No, Kirby, lol." So Nani and Kirby, I guess, aren't friends in Dokkan. Why not? Kirby's really friendly. I'm sure he might be able to help you out. Kirby said for some reason a Synchro Time Lord has been released, but the archetype can't summon it. I'm sure they're gonna release some support cards in order to help make that a possibility. Nani said yes, it's just like Budokai 2. Oh, okay, I never played Budokai 2, but I'm not a fan of the board game mechanic in Dokkan. Maybe it was better in Budokai 2. Maybe it's the same, and then that implies I may not have liked it in Budokai 2 either. I don't know. Hmm. I still want to learn more about Teen Lantern. Teen Lantern's like a new character for Young Justice, and we just don't really know anything about him. Then Kirby said, I'm gonna give Nani's friend code to fix that. Ooh. Yeah, Nani. Do you think you're gonna hit up Kirby's friend code? Adamant's friend now. Don't count. Nani said, so Apex Legends is beating all Battle Royale games? Is that true? Do 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 do. It gained 10 million players in 3 days. Huh. Beating Fortnite's record. Interesting. And then Kirby posted his friend code for Dokkan Battle. If I was to play any of these new Battle Royale games, I'm interested most in Realm Royale because they have powers. Let me read up on Realm Royale a little bit more. I want to know what the powers are. So I went to the official Realm Royale website, and I can honestly tell you that it doesn't give a lot of information. I have no idea what the fuck this is. So here we go. Beginner's guide. Then Nani said, okay, I'll add you when I get on, bro. Then he said, Apex has powers too. He said, both of them. I play it too. Okay, what powers are in Apex Legends? I still don't understand what Apex Legends is about. All I've heard is it's like Titanfall without mechs, but I don't know a lot about Titanfall. All I know about Titanfall is that it was a game that had mechs in it. So now I just honestly don't know what that game is then. But what powers are in Apex Legends? How do the powers work? Right now I'm considering Realm Royale because it has powers in it. Kirby said, even though I rarely summon them, my Time Lord deck also has Xyz summons. Well, Xyz monsters. Interesting. Nani said, like, one girl can do a portal, and your friends can go through it too. So you have a character in Apex that can make portals. Um, in Apex, do they actually have powers, or do they have, like, gadgets that work as powers? Right now, I'm reading the Realm Royale Beginner's Guide and Frequently Asked Questions. Hmm. You'll utilize weapons and abilities to conquer the realm to be the last player standing. When you dive into the realm, you'll be faced with many new and exciting gameplay elements that make the world unique. Okay, so it's class based. Then Kirby said, and I just added one Xyz monster to the extra deck. What new Xyz monster did you add, and why? For your Time Lord deck. Then Nani said, I'm not sure. It's an ability. Oh, okay. Then I don't know. Real quick, I'm gonna clip away from the Realm Royale frequently asked questions. Try to finish this comic. I think I'm almost at the end of the Young Justice issue 2 comic. Let's see. So apparently, the next issue of this particular book is going to reveal what's up with like Superboy and where Superboy disappeared to and why he's just now back in the book. Because he sure wasn't in this issue at all. We also didn't get any fucking Bart Allen. We didn't get any Impulse. The two characters I've been most interested in for Young Justice issue 2, being Impulse and Superboy, were just not in Young Justice issue 2. The most interesting storyline in Young Justice issue 2 was about Wonder Girl and her father. I think that's pretty dope. And seeing a little bit more of Teen Lantern's characterization was cool. Sorry, not Wonder Girl and her father, Wonder Girl and her grandfather. But I'm upset that Wonder Girl didn't accept godhood, but then choose to be an independent god, not letting her grandfather tell her what to do, because it would have been fine. I don't think she would have cucked herself. Kirby said he added number XX Infinity Dark Utopic. Well, I guess it'd be utopic. He said, I noticed the deck had 12, so I searched for another one that could fill the 3 card gap. Interesting. Then Nani said, do you even like Battle Royale games? I liked hitting people with a car in PUBG. That's the only Battle Royale game that I actually like really fucked with because you could hit people with a car. And then Nani said, "Oh yeah, do you like Monster Hunter World? I don't have Monster Hunter World. I've never played it. I think CJ really liked it and that he has it. And I think Colin might have it as well." Then Nani said, "Like, do you think it's still worth to get? I've never played Monster Hunter World, but everyone I know who's played it really likes it. So I imagine it's a good game. I've just never played it. I don't know." But I've only heard good things about it, so I imagine it's good. Nani said right now it costs $25 in the PSN store. If you feel like you'll like it, then you're probably right. I'd recommend just hitting it up. Then Nani said Q has it too. I think Q and CJ both have Monster Hunter World. I just haven't really been interested in it, so I didn't pick it up. But if you think you're like really hyped for it, I recommend you do. The most recent new game I bought was Lego Worlds, and I like it. I've only gotten a chance to play it a couple times, but it seems like a game that has infinite replay value. You can constantly go to like new and different worlds, discovering new things and doing missions for NPCs, and traveling to like different planets and building whatever you want and terraforming the earth and painting shit whatever you want and catching like weird troublemaker creatures and fighting zombies and helping catch criminals. I don't know. Lego Worlds just seems pretty dope. It's what I thought No Man's Sky was gonna be like, but better and Legos. Um, the only thing that I think would make Lego Worlds even better is if it was like an MMO style game. I think right now it just has like 2 player, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But if they made a Lego Worlds 2 that was essentially the same game, but you could play with a whole bunch of people, I'd really fuck with it. Then Nani said, you showed us his collector's edition. Right, I did the unboxing thing. And then Nani said, ask Q and the other guy if it's still worth it. Next time I hang out with Colin and CJ, I'll just have to remember to hit them up and ask them if they think Monster Hunter World is still worth buying this late in the game. I imagine they'd say yes. I mean, if you're hella interested in it, I honestly haven't heard anything negative about Monster Hunter World. Then Nani said Lego World, like open world. So Lego Worlds is fucking dope. It's essentially No Man's Sky but Legos. Kirby said, I'm going to start a YGO Pro 2 stream. Yo, I hope you have a wonderful stream, Kirby. Blah, 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 blah. If you guys want to support Kirby's channel, definitely make sure to head over to that YGO Pro stream that your boy Kirby is starting up right now. Right now, I'm looking at the Realm Royale classes for like the frequently asked questions. Just trying to learn more about the game and see if I might enjoy it. Let's see. There are 4 classes: Warrior, Hunter, Assassin, and Mage. I think out of those 4, I'd be most interested in either playing Assassin or Mage. Really depends on how they play. Excuse me. Hmm. Warriors, for instance, specialize in charging into battle with axes and hammers, where a hunter may use dodging prowess and mastery of a bow to gain the upper hand in combat. Nani said it sounds cool. Oh, Lego Worlds? Most def. Okay, so let me talk about Lego Worlds for a bit. Actually, I think I already did a good job of describing it earlier, because there's not much to describe. In Lego Worlds, you can customize your character. You have a spaceship that lets you travel to different planets. The planets are randomly generated with different biomes. Some are like Candyland. The one I'm currently on is like a weird swamp that has like zombies and like criminals running around everywhere, and possibly a giant monster. I've seen a giant monster footprint, but I haven't been able to find the monster itself. I've been to a world that's like prehistoric times and you like help cavemen. I've been to a pirate world where you have to like help a pirate like build his own throne. You'll have challenges where you have to build stuff. You'll have challenges where you have to like discover something in the world and bring it to a character. You'll have challenges where like characters are trapped somewhere and you have to like save them. And you'll even have challenges where you have to like fight enemies and shit. But you're mainly fighting to collect these things called gold bricks. So there are different types of worlds that exist out there, and like I said, they're all randomly generated. But some you can only travel to if you have so many gold bricks. So you want to collect as many gold bricks as you can in order to like boop 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 boop, boost yourself up so you're able to go to those crazier worlds that exist. Nani said, I want a Lego game that's open world and you can create your character. Then you want Lego Worlds. That's essentially what Lego Worlds is. You can customize your character in Lego Worlds. The way that character customization works is that at first you have very limited options. There's not a lot for you to pick from. But throughout the game, you'll run into other Lego people that exist around the world. Now, everything in the world you can scan and then create yourself. So let's say you see like a couch that you really like in somebody's house. You can scan their couch and then you now have access to that couch and you can just make as many of those couches as you want, and you don't have to do it brick by brick. You essentially have a copy of it and you can just copy and paste it everywhere. But when you run into characters, characters won't let you scan them until you do a mission for them. So after you complete a mission for a character, you can scan them, and now you can summon as many copies of that character and put them in the world as you want. Not only can you make a bunch of copies of that character, but you now have access to their outfit, their like facial features, any weapons that they have, shit like that. And you can use those on your character to customize your appearance, but you can also just play as those characters. So every new character you do a mission for, you can customize yourself with, or you can just play as them afterwards. Nani said that's cool, but it would be cool if it was online. I agree. That's the biggest thing that Lego Worlds is missing, is that it's not like a big MMO thing. It's limited, I think, to local two player. I might be wrong. I've never tried to play it online. Also, I don't currently have PlayStation Plus. Normally, I just do the free trial, but it didn't seem worth it because every time I do the free trial, I play once or twice and then it would just kind of expire. Goat Boy Gaming said, "Hey, remember me? Yo, Goat Boy Gaming, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you." Let me look up Lego Worlds. I own the game, but I have a digital copy. Let me look up and see how the multiplayer works. Sorry about that whistle. Goat Boy Gaming then posted an old black man. Yeah, it says that it has single player and it has multiplayer, which I already knew that. But I don't know if it's online multiplayer or if it's like only local multiplayer. I'm not sure. Also, here's the Wikipedia article if you're interested in learning a little bit more about it. It doesn't let me post anything in the live chat. I don't know why it's not letting me post in the live chat. Um, but it's definitely worth hitting up. Goat Boy Gaming then put up a flex and then a surprise face and then like another flex. Then Goat Boy Gaming said, "So sorry." Let's see. So I'm trying to figure out how Lego Worlds multiplayer works because I just don't know. Do 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 do. There's also some DLC that exists for Lego Worlds, but I don't have it. There's one that's like Monster Worlds, and it's like Halloween based worlds now become available, and then Space Worlds, which is a weird concept because you're already traveling to different planets. Goat Boy Gaming said, "Are you a narrator? Like professionally? Like no." Uh, then Nani said, "That's dope. Most deaf." Right now, I'm looking at the frequently asked questions. I'm trying to figure out how the multiplayer works. So, where can I find the free content? Where can I download the free content? Are there plans to add more free content? Let's see. They said, yes, we plan to add regularly more free themed content. This will include new characters, vehicles, gadgets, and more based on popular LEGO play materials. Where can I find the free content and download it? The free content is available for download after the title screen, where you have selected to play new game or load game. The models have to download to your console. While they are downloading, a message will be displaying called Building Models. Once a model has been downloaded, it will appear in the center of the screen, and more models will download in the background if you don't already have them. You can scroll through the available models using the L1 and R1 buttons on PS4, then move the cursor to the plus button to save each model. So you'll just get free content just randomly? That's pretty dope. Then Nani said, what if there's an anime Lego game? Then Goat Boy Gaming said, lol. I could honestly see there being an anime Lego game. Because Lego has their foot in like everything. They have the rights to make Star Wars games, DC and Marvel games, uh, Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. And the Lego movie is like a good way to just look at all the rights to things that Lego owns. They're able to create games with just so many different characters from all these different universes. I would love it if there was a Lego Worlds game that also was based in like the things that they own. Because right now, the way that Lego Worlds is set up, there are a bunch of different planets, but all the planets are based off of like just Lego sets and shit, not based off of like specific properties that Lego owns. Like you're not gonna in Lego World suddenly end up on the Incredibles world or anything like that. That'd be really cool, but that's not what it does. If they dropped a Lego Worlds 2 and they were like, it's the same as Lego Worlds, but it was online like an MMO, and you also had worlds that had licensed characters like gremlins and shit like that, I'd fucking love that game. That'd be dope. Nani said Mortal Kombat question mark. Like, does Lego have the rights to Mortal Kombat? I'm not sure. I'd have to check that. Then Kirby said, all right, stream on. Oh, ballin'. Yo, if you guys have not tuned in yet, you gotta make sure that you hit up that Kirby stream. Right now he's streaming YGO Pro 2 on his channel. If you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button for Kirby. I don't think Lego has done anything with Mortal Kombat. Everything that I see pulled up when I googled that was like fan made. Not even said noise. Let's see. So right now I'm trying to figure out how the multiplayer works in Lego Worlds. Let's see. And it's like, what is DLC? What is sandbox mode? Let's see. Whoa, you can create a world from scratch in Lego Worlds? I didn't know that. Kirby said I have you muted so the stream doesn't hear you. Fair enough. That makes sense. Do 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 do. Let's see. Which they can still with a huge variety of models, vehicles, characters, and creatures that are already unlocked. Let's see, is it compatible with PS4 Pro? That's actually an interesting question. Okay, that's cool. Who is Lego Worlds for? Rate E10 Plus. I was hoping they would say it's for everyone. Then Goat Boy Gaming just points at a monkey. Let's see. Oh, Lego Worlds has an online multiplayer thing. Then Goat Boy Gaming said Get Touch. I don't know what that means. But they have an online multiplayer trailer that might give me the information I've been looking for to let me know how Lego's multiplayer works. It says online multiplayer, so it must be an online thing. But is it just up to like you and one other friend? Or is it like you and like 3 or 4 friends? Because that makes a really big difference. Right now I'm trying to find out where I'm going to put this video to where I can see it. Let's see. I like this little world that they're showing off inside of the online multiplayer trailer. It's like a little city world. Oh gosh. That's cool. So they're showing off these two people, Ginny and Nigel, and they're one person who likes doing like collective stuff. So you can do online multiplayer just straight up. So you can play and explore together, and you can build together. They haven't shown off two person play. I mean, sorry, they haven't shown off more than two people. They've only shown off two people playing together. But I'd love to see more than two people. Two people's fine though. Wait, they had a grapple gun. That was cool as fuck. Can you get a grapple gun in this game? Goat Boy said, I like the stream. Give me that friggin' cookie. So, Lego Worlds does have two-player online multiplayer, um, but I don't think it has more than two players. Two players is cool though. Being able to play with just one other friend isn't too bad. It's better than not being able to play with anybody. Nani said only two, sigh. I agree. If you could have more than two, I think Lego Worlds would be hella poppin'. That being said, you could play with not always the same person. So let's say you and I had it, and Goat Boy had it, and Kirby had it. Sometimes you could play with like me being there. Sometimes you could play with Kirby being there. Sometimes you could play with like Goat Boy being there. Just because it's two-player multiplayer doesn't mean you always have to play with the same people. Goat Boy Gaming said, I have it. Oh, that's cool. So you play Lego Worlds? What are your thoughts on it? Right now, I'm reading about Realm Royale, trying to see if I'd be interested in playing it. Let's see, it has weapons and abilities. Each player may hold two weapons, ranging from standard weaponry like assault rifles and shotguns to exotic weapons like throwing axes and longbows. Any class can fare well with the standard weaponry. Each class will have certain advantages with specific weapons and abilities. An assassin will gain cooldown bonuses to abilities like Hidden, which serves as a means to remain stealthy and gain an advantage angle on your opponents. There are two types of abilities, basic abilities and movement abilities. So right now I'm still reading through. Excuse me. Nani said, I think they have rights for Dragon Ball Z too. Go Boy Gaming says it's boring. So you're not a fan of Lego Worlds? What do you feel about Lego Worlds that's like boring? Do you think at a certain point you kind of discover all that you like want to discover and you just run out of stuff? I haven't played it long enough to hit the point where I feel like I've seen everything. You know what I mean? I'm still getting continually surprised as when I like explore and travel between worlds, but I've only played it a couple times so far. But I feel like if it can keep up the hype for long enough, then I probably won't get bored. Especially since I can build my own worlds apparently in Lego Worlds. And then Nani said, is there a lot of content on it or no? The way Lego Worlds is set up, they have randomly generated planets, and on each planet you can travel around and complete missions for people, and you can collect things that you haven't seen before and build whatever you want and add creatures and vehicles to worlds and copy stuff that you've already seen, like houses and shit like that, and paste them into the world. I feel like there's so much for you to do in Lego Worlds to where if you wanted to, you could probably just hang out on one world and just have a whole bunch of adventures there. And then whenever you got bored on that world, you could just travel to another one and just have hella adventures. So I feel like there's plenty to do in Lego Worlds. Because it's one of those things where it's like if you're just tired of where you are, the game allows you to just go somewhere else and just do other shit. So I'd say Lego Worlds is pretty poppin'. And even if you are bored of the world that you're on, you can just start building what you want there, repainting everything, just causing chaos. If you have any like wild animals that you've copied or monsters, you can start pasting them into the world and having them just attack everything in sight. You know, because the characters on those worlds interact with you too. So if you like summon like a bad guy character, they'll be a bad guy and they'll run around and they'll like start shit. If you summon like civilian characters, they'll like walk around and you can wave at them and they'll wave back at you. I don't know. I like it. I like the different worlds and Lego worlds and the stuff that you can do with it. Uh, I'm surprised that Lego made a game like that, but it definitely makes sense, and I think it's like pretty chill, no lie. Let's see. So right now, I'm learning more about Realm Royale. Oh shit, you can ride wolves in Realm Royale? What? Then Go Boy Gaming said, okay. You're not out of the game, at least if you know how to escape foes as a chicken. Oh, interesting. So in the Battle Royale game, apparently Realm Royale, when you die, you get turned into a chicken. And as long as you don't die as a chicken for 20 seconds, you can pop back in the game, which I didn't know was a thing. That's interesting. I'm liking some of these character costumes, but I heard that you can't customize your characters in Realm Royale for whatever reason. Seems like an odd choice. Then Goat Boy Gaming said Apex Legends is the best thing to happen. I still don't know why Apex Legends is, for whatever reason, really popular. All I've heard is that it's like Titanfall, but you don't have mechs, and that there's a girl that can make portals. That's all I've heard. Let's see. So you can ride on mounts, including these badass looking wolves in Realm Royale. That seems dope. And you can forge items apparently. Let's see. So you can craft weapons. Oh, you can craft abilities, so you can get powers by crafting things. That's interesting. Hmm. I'll still make a fair amount of noise and blow smoke. So whenever you forge something, like you try to make a new power, you make a new weapon, opponents will be able to notice that you're forging something and try and come in to stop you. Goat Boy Gaming said, Sit killed Fortnite, so I love Apex Legends. Um, you mean it killed Fortnite? Okay. Um, I don't know. I still don't get the hype. Let's see. Each forge can only craft each type of item once per match. Interesting. So if you decide to like use a forge to craft an ability, it can only do that. It can only craft that ability once. And then Nani said Fortnite will probably be better. You're talking about the Apex Legends? Apparently, Apex Legends beat a Fortnite record or whatever. Um, but I still don't understand why people like Apex Legends. And then Goat Boy Gaming said, nope, it should die. So he thinks Fortnite should die out. So I never could really get into Fortnite. Out of the Battle Royale games I've played so far, my favorite was PUBG because you could drive cars and hit people with cars. But Realm Royale has powers, and I think I might like that. Nani said it's not, lol. Let's see. Hmm. So they're like, as long as you ride on a mount, you can go between multiple forges and craft as many things as you want. Nani said, yeah, Realm Royale is fun. Try it out. I'm still trying to learn a little bit more about it. Oh, you can craft resurrection scrolls to bring your friends back to life? That's interesting. So it says you can customize your gameplay. How so? So each class has a talent system, and then so there's actually progression. I see. So you can unlock additional talents that give you like bonuses to the general stats, weapons, and abilities in combat that you can then craft at the forge. Oh, and you can craft additional items at the forge by customizing your talents and stuff. That's cool. So as you level up with a class by playing, you'll unlock additional talent options for each of the 10 talent slots. And then your talents kind of like a deck that you can build in order to change the way that you play. Hmm, that actually is kind of interesting. And then you can loot items, and then it just has more questions. I might hit it up. I might hit up Realm Royale. Go Boy Gaming says it's a first person shooter and it's a fast paced battle royale. I mean, I'm not a big fan of first person shooters, so that alone kind of is like a for me. Like the idea of Apex Legends being good in part, like specifically because it's like a battle royale. As I mean, not because it's a battle royale, because it's a first person shooter. I'm not like a fan. Then Goat Boy Gaming said, "Frick it, good night. Well, have a wonderful night, Goat Boy. Bleh. Have a wonderful night, Goat Boy Gaming. Thank you for tuning in. It's good to have you. I hope you have a wonderful night." Let's see. I'm almost done with my bottle of water. I really want to play Lego Worlds right now. That or play Realm Royale, but it's like 3:05 in the morning. I have a date with Danica at 2 p.m., which is in less than 12 hours. So I probably should go to bed now so I'll be well rested and be able to exercise and shower in the morning in preparation for my date. But I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Montel said, play it. Not at the moment. I'll probably play some Lego Worlds in the morning before my date. Nani said, damn, 5 in the morning. It's only 3 in the morning right now. It's not 5 a.m. I think I said it was 3:05. Right now it's 3:06. But yeah, it's pretty late. And then Nani said, all right, bro, good night. Thank you all for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. Tomorrow, I hopefully will post up some more videos. I will always try and do the fan poll, not the fan poll, the vlog video after midnight. So worst case scenario, if I don't post anything new during the day, since I'll be on a date, I'll at the very least do the vlog video um, after midnight tomorrow. I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. This is your friend, your boy, Jump Like the One and Only, logging out. Kirby said, I just had 2 Time Lords in the same turn get dicked by Dimensional Prison. I'm sorry to hear that. Real quick, I'm going to say, I'm trying to scroll up to more or less the top of the live chat. That's not the top of the live chat. It only goes back to 1:03 a.m. for whatever reason. But shout out to Ryan. Shout out to that one guy, Kells. Shout out to Goat Boy Gaming. Shout out to Kirby Ultra Star. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Right now I'm scrolling through to try and make sure I don't miss anybody's name. Do 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 do. Shout out to Dragon Ball Superfan. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Shout out to Nani. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Dude, Kirby and Nani have said like the most in the live chat. Ooh, shout out to Goat Boy Gaming again, I guess. It became like the Nani and Kirby show for like a hot minute. Shout out to Montel. Montel was like one of the first people to jump in, but it didn't show the earliest part of the live chat, so I couldn't like immediately start with the first person. But yeah, shout out to everybody who was on the stream. If I, for whatever reason, missed your name because the live chat's being a fuck nigga, I apologize. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. I wouldn't have done any of this without you guys' assistance, watching the channel, showing interest, showing that you like enjoy the content. I truly do appreciate it. Jarrod said that I need to do the 1,000 subscriber giveaway Monday, so I'm gonna try and do that Monday. Either everybody's gonna get a free ebook, or a random person who watches the content's gonna get a free ebook. So we'll see. But thank you all once again for tuning in. This is your host,